Ladies and gentlemen, as you can tell, I'm all swagged out all today. We're on the mic. I have hard glasses on for some reason. They're so painful to wear, but I will be your caster for the day. MCino, if you didn't already know. We have a best out of 5 series ahead of us for the day, starting us first on Clubhouse, as you can already tell. But without further ado, let's take a look at the map that's ahead of us for the day before we start to break down some information that's ahead of us for the night. We come back into the band phase, ladies and gentlemen. Now, it's always about the best out of 5. This is my third best of 5 series back to back. It's gonna be a little interesting here as I manage to try and hold on. But as we wait for these defender bands to take out here, I'm going to be seen with a pause on bands. As we see a pause in the band phase, which is a little crazy. I've never seen this one before, but we're waiting for a technical difficulty to be cranked out. But as I was saying before, we are going to be taking a look at the rosters. I'm sorry, I've just seen some absolute tomfoolery. This kid's starting up his stream now, but whatever. We don't judge. Taking a look here at our rosters for the day, a lot of changes coming in here for Synergy. They were supposed to have a very uniform same 5 that we saw last week, but I guess today it was just not the same case. Lots of things going on, so we are going to see multiple changes in that case. We're going to be seeing Erpin lining up here with question mark, the man himself. But on a real note, it'll be Erpin, Squirts, Dev, Paxton, Mazamitsu to take on Toxic Void, Tactics, Zinx, and Decag of the Alchemists here today. And they do have the ability to lock it on in and bring it into the first map with a bang. It's all about those first impressions, and I'm telling you guys right here, right now, whoever we see take this first map will start out with a bang. But without further ado, I'm probably going to send this to a break while we wait, and we'll be back soon. I apologize for the delay here, ladies and gentlemen, but we are in the game nevertheless. But we are going to move on in to the basement site first. Now, Alchemists get the privilege of being able to defend first. They got to pick their own side due to this being Synergy's map pick. Now, taking a look here at the lineup that they'll be bringing, pretty staple, pretty simple. They'll be bringing Mira, protected by the Wamai here, to try and prevent any of this utility from being fried out. Now, being taken away, we see the Azami being brought as well. Lots of operators that you definitely need to be able to capitalize and make this site yours. But they seem like they have an idea in hand. They're going to mold the site to their liking, and it will be the factor that'll help them win. Now, so important here to see how the time of Synergy is being used. It's always important that the team that gets to play on their home turf first gets the first impression gone, dusted, and done here. But as of now, Synergy attack on their own map. They currently sit in stock room while they'll have a 5-man bunker take to reassemble and try to take care of, as all the defenders are not looking at trying to roam. First Mira, despite having a Omai, actually is going to fall to the first Ash that's sent on it. And now Tactics is remembering who his operator is. And that's going to be a problem here already, now that they've lost an essential piece that holds down the blue side. But Azami trying to make up for the damage using her Keep a Barricade, but definitely not going to be able to make up for the fact that you've lost that one-way Mira. Verticality now being established as they're starting to set up slowly but surely. They're getting the verticality done, dusted, and it's all the checklist they go for. First blood of the series, and it'll be 2 for Zinc, so he'll take care of Erpin and Squirts. That's 2 kills here. Verticality taken care of alongside with your entry frag. Erpin not having the easiest of entries here. Got the Mira, doesn't have a long enough lifespan to be able to try and capitalize for the next 2 opening kills here, and the bait of the reinforcement allows this to be even worse. But Masamitsu has a response here, capitalizes, just gets the quick easy shot through dirt and tries to go for the double contest. But in the meantime, Tactics looks to grow that deficit to 2 bodies yet again and will make it a 2v4. 2 attackers in 2 worlds away. One trying to push down main stairs, and the other one forced to reset here. Nothing here for him in dirt, as it'll be a massive problem to try to isolate gunfights in so many angles. You don't even know if you can counter. The Kiba's a problem. The utility is going to be a problem, but you guys need to be able to capitalize. 1 down here is Tabaro. Decag will go down to the shotgun of Masa, and that'll be a double kill as he loses a good majority of his HP for that sacrifice. 40 seconds on the clock and counting as the clock will tick down. It is not in their favor. A body down, the kit is going to be in the hands, so anything is possible here. But the hatch closed, verticality not the best, and if he tries to waltz down those stairs, those mirrors are going to be a pain to deal with. But Maza here on a terror ring, finding his 3rd as he manages to down but not claim. Being allowed entry in the site here. Looks like a blue will be the main name of the game, but if Habana drops, you're gonna have to be mindful of that TCSG in the pocket of Kaid. Look in your corners, it's the essentials of Siege. Zinx finds a triple to shut out Maz's reign of terror onto the defenders, leaving it in a 2v1 situation. You look to get lucky, but no can do, as Alchemists will claim the first round. And that's the basement site locked for another 3 rounds, as a beautiful defensive hold. Way to reel it back in will give the first to the opponents who are on the away turf. Gym and Bedroom, the next name of the game, also a site that is beloved by a lot of defenders. If you can hold it correctly, it's an absolute beauty. And one of the biggest challenges of holding this site is being able to determine whether you can play with a Mira or not. Because yes, Mira is one of those broken operators, but if you don't know how to use her correctly, if you don't know how to defend the mirrors from verticality, if you don't know how to defend them from Twitch drones and Ash breaches, it's honestly just useless to be bringing. And right now, it looks like to be the calm for Alchemists, as they will bring an operator lineup that doesn't revolve around bringing a Mira. And again, this could be just as powerful as having it. as there's usually a manual here on how to dissect an upstairs play, advance out through CC, clear a cache, and then advance throughout construction while having logistics open in the outside verticality here. But everybody has their own way. For instance, Dev is the thermite, and we don't see any. No double hard breacher, but it looks like the can openers will be enough to do the job, as CC is now partially open. Blackbeard with the DMR, that's a little bit of a new one here. The Undertaker behind that shield, and Masa definitely acts like the Undertaker, finding 3 kills last round in a very Alchemist controlled round. Able to do the job correctly, just has to be able to find the coordination with his team to be able to not take everything on for himself. First frag grenade getting used here, looking to find the Volcan canister, will connect, and that's one piece of utility completely taken care of. That is so important for that late round scenario. First blood here as Pax finds one Erpin for the next double team. Beautifully takes care of all the pressure in CC and top red, and Zinx will definitely go for that reset. Nobody seems to be aware that he'll be going for a C4. All you have to do is just wait. You just have to wait for the stars to align, and if you just look left, you have 3 kills just waiting for you. But you'll take your sweet old time, and as of now, you look to throw that C4, and nobody will be there. Just play the time, wait it out, as Zinx just needs to detonate it. Look for it, you'll find 2, and that's a heroic play, as Zinx finds 2 kills to put his team up a body, but then they shortly lose that lead as Toxic will fall. Pax on 1 HP, somehow staying alive next to that C4. Now 2 defenders off site, forced to go up the main stairs. Needs to be able to push the key shield operator here, especially when he's a lethal man on that DMR. Need to get close with that melee damage. In the double team here, Goyo will shank him. Where's the teamwork here for the Alchemists? It's beautiful as Synergy lack to find a response. The case carrier, 1 HP, and the other one is stacked up on the metal sheet. One singular rotation, you've screwed yourself over. Zinx, just take your time. The plant's not going down yet. There's no need to swing, but he'll seek asylum, at least in the main stairs for now. Looking to bait out the plant here, as it's definitely heard by the defenders as they stay stationary. Look for a plan. They need to be able to find the picks here. They cannot allow these attackers to escape through the windows. It's going to be a 2v2 situation. The bait of doom will connect, and now still 2v2. You'll have DCAT wrapping around. All you gotta do is continue to shred off this critical piece of HP. Dev makes it a 2v1, and the prone from Pax here manages to reel it back in. All they had to do was just continue and try to delay, but they advanced a little too early. And that rotate into Jim decided the round as the plank goes down, and it becomes level here for Synergy. Let's take a look here at the heroic round replay. A little bit of a man of the match type of style. I mean, oh so important. You found 1 kill, you found the next within 5 seconds. It's important you have to be able to rely on your team to be able to reel it in and find a refrag, but just not something we've seen. That'll be a problem here for Alchemists and Synergy as well. It's 2 problems we've seen emerge for both sides quite early on in this series. Using teamwork and not allowing yourselves to only rely on the individual clutch factor. It's a team game. You can't just rely on clutches. Right now, that is the framework that they're going to need to rely on from here on out. As a look to try Jim and Bedroom again. CC, kind of that last resort after you've won all of the sites that are oh so beloved. Now, looking at a very similar lineup, nobody seems to be changed out, but the main idea should be, how can we deny red this time without losing man control in about 5 seconds here? Team up between Erpin and Pax dissected top red and cash in 5 seconds and gave them the ultimate control and construction. That's a factor that definitely decided the round. DCAG looking to just edge on a run out here for Strip Club, but won't be able to find it. First frag rolls on here from the control Masamitsu. That's kind of why you reinforce this wall. Makes bandit tricking kind of impossible. Yet again, Alchemist, you guys have to be able to lock in here. It's the fundamentals. Bandit is all the way over in Jacuzzi as he has just sought refuge in sight and taken a sweet old time. Azami is now going to be lined up here with the Warden, seeking to keep this room held down. 3 attackers to the ratio of 2 defenders here. Going to get chaotic as the shield looks to get burned soon. Warden, threat of a needle will take care of his head, and that'll be death to open it up for his team. Masamitsu getting aggressive here as he continues to rain the terror. Construction completely being lost now as he has opened it up for his team, and now not scared to help out and get that control done. External play soon to come as one of the operators looks to get very aggressive off of the highway windows and get the external pressure, and that'll be death. Taking your sweet old time here, and that's exactly how you're supposed to play the game. You went up a man now. Try to reset. Look for the bodies. Drones, utility, oh so important. And you need to be able to have that factor in your hands. Right now, utility in the pockets of Alchemists. They have the Volcan canister. Keep a barrier, hopefully. But it's all about using it to your advantage. Body is definitely going to drop here regardless. Masamitsu losing half of his health and definitely going to fall to the gun of Zinx here as you open it up. The second Volcan gets popped as the refrag rains on in. Zinx's heroic shortly cut off as they'll be left here in a 4v3. Flashes raining in. Logistics was in control, but the pre-fire will take care of business. Squirts, so we'll find a double kill here to take care of business, giving his team the advantage. And again, oh, DCAG finding 2. Doesn't seem to want to stop soon. Has reeled it back in for his team. Relax, play your time, and isolate your ones. The case is loose, and what a play by Squirt. He'll find 1 to make it triple. Seeking refuge now in the bathroom as we find ourselves in a similar position as the last round. DCAG needing to ace to be able to try and reel it on in, but it's all about isolating your gunfights, and this is the only time you can do it. You gotta do it quickly, man. Taking your sweet old time, and it'll be Squirts to find the 4th. Alchemists. Oh, they've managed to almost find it, but continuing here to fall on short as they will lose their 2nd round in a row. Gym Bedroom just not seeming to be their best play as they'll head back downstairs to Church Arsenal as the parameter resets. Sorry if you guys do hear any sniffles in the back. I am extremely sick and I'm trying my best. But as we head on into the next round, the Alchemists now have a round to be able to reflect off of. But again, you can't be giving away defensive rounds on Clubhouse, regardless of what side you're on, regardless of whose map it is. Defensive, it just needs to be something that you have locked down, but currently not the case in this situation, as Clubhouse seems to be in the control now of Synergy. They're finding the link-ups, they're playing off each other perfectly, and Alchemist kind of just relying on everybody's individual gun skill to try to bring it home. Not going to be sufficient, but as we head on to our next map, which will be layered, that might be sufficient, as that will be the Alchemist's map, and it'll be a little interesting to see how they'll play it out. As the Habana looks to open up the hatches here. Already 1 is going to be open. The next is going to be kited off. And the 3rd is going to be soft reinforced. Surprisingly, no smoke here, no mute. Nothing to deny the stairs head on. But the first mirror falling short. And this is already a lot more progressive here for Synergy. We saw them struggle just because of the fact they couldn't dissect all of the mirrors before that C4 landed. But now, looks like they're here to play and mean business as they'll find 1. But C4, again, just something that's been an absolute pain to deal with, as we've seen 3 rounds, 3 straight rounds with all kills raining in from C4. Kit loose, Maza looking to try to find a kill here off the bottom main, trapping himself in a corner here. If anybody were to have a C4, he would be dead. But as of now, Maza finding 2. Can you find the 3rd on a terror rain? Looking to claim the bodies. Mira getting aggressive here. You gotta win those gunfights. But the verticality is established. Masamitsu, how are you still alive? Mira, what are you doing? You're going to fall. Finally winning the gunfight with a shotgun, seeking refuge in sight. Urban magically stays alive here, trying to help out his teammate, but the refrag from Pax will put them back up in the advantage, and Dev will close it on out. What just happened? Masamitsu opening it up, finding the gap in the middle of the site and dividing AKs in Church by a dividend, as we'll take a look at that yet again. almost managing to claim the third, but it honestly becomes more of a problem here for Alchemist than it does a power play here for Synergy. Yes, they're capitalizing, they're finding everything that's needed, but why are you allowing that to happen in the first place if you know that that's a common wallbang? If you know it's a common wallbang, either reinforce it off or just, you know, don't stand directly behind it. That's going to be a massive problem here to address for Alchemist, as they're going to trail now by 2 rounds. And this is Synergy building up their progression before they even advance onto the halftime. They're on attack here, and they're 1 round shy away from switching. I hope to imagine what it's going to look like when it switches. Lots to be addressed here for Alchemist, but they are going to choose that downstairs site yet again because it is the only one they've won so far. 0 for 2 on Gym Bedroom. Now 1 for 1 here at Gym. And now they head on over to the basement, which is a 50-50 chance for them to be able to win. Won it once, lost it once. Not the worst of stats, not the best. Now, they just need to look to be able to address the mistakes from last round and be able to bring it on into the next. Masamitsu, an absolute pivotal player for his team, but wasting one of his quick reaches on dirt, thinking it was soft, but just not the case here. The rest of the team does exactly what they are used to, and now opens up all of the hatches looking for that external play before they really get hands-on. Squirts as the ace might be looking here to claim this triple off. It is reinforced later in the round, or if they just want to be able to open this mirror fully. As this time we will see a rover being decagged. The question is, where is he sitting? All the way over in strip here. There's a drone lurking, but do they know where it is? Because it looks like they're circling around in decag here. Just on a drone. They did drone it out. They got everything done. And oh, decag. You seem to be in a horrible spot as you look to isolate the ones yet again. But a beautiful pinch here between Erpin and Masamitsu claims the board. And that'll be first blood in the favor of Synergy yet again, as a look to capitalize even more. Hatches opened. They're looking to make the damage worse. Kitchen looking to be opened up quite soon here as Moto is also reinforced. You have the ace for this triple wall. Won't be too much of a problem if he has the Selma saved up. Verticality being established. Ace opening up the breach. I told you was gonna happen. In the first, it will be impact tricked here, and the mirror will be popped. The second one connecting, bottom half collided and taken care of by the Wamaitis. Kitchen being protected here, but not for long. Savannah doesn't look to claim it. Has 6 pellets possible, but it's gonna look for the gunfight instead. Deals damage, but takes more in the exchange. Pax looking to push down blue, but giving away his factor, considering there's a proxy. Now, Zinx knows he needs to get his hands dirty. A minute left on the clock, and they know it's all about running down the clock. Tactics now getting damage dealt to him even more, and Moto will be the main play here as Tactics left to deal with the pressure coming in from the 3 players waiting. Maza opening it up here, finding the first. Pax looking to rotate over and cover as it all springs into action. Refrag here from Toxic. Erpin to push in through blue, finding the double kill. Miro looking to get pressured, sent back. That'll be a double here for Masamitsu as the round is closed out by Erpin, and a beautiful display of teamwork to close it out. And that's the next round. What's new Scooby-Doo towards Synergy as they go on to their last attacking round. Wow, 4-1 is the scoreline, and they're having an absolute blast. Gym Bedroom, as they're forced yet again to go for it. It's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem, is all I can say. You've lost it twice due to just losing construction in a record time. You haven't brought the bandit this time, which will be an even bigger problem. But again, the problem poses, I mean, it was an easy fix. Reinforce the garage singles and then commit to the trick. But we're not seeing that. We're also not seeing Jaeger being brought here, and it's a problem. You need to be able to capitalize what the operator is gifted to you, but just not something we're going to see in the soft setup here with the jammers and the top red play with the shield is going to be brought. I would like to point out, though, Alchemist, not a bad team, but Masamitsu on a DMR behind a shield is an absolute weapon that I didn't think I would see the light of day, as he manages to terrorize anybody who walks into his crosses. And it's kind of why you ban Blackbeard instead of Monty on this map. Maza, what's new is first boots on the ground, and Warden Almost managing to find one, but traded out here by Masamitsu because you have to be able to capitalize. Gifted a free kill here, but you just can't connect. And that is Masa to find Joy here. Headshot first. And now putting up his team at a 5v4 yet again. Squirt, though, getting caught off guard. Be mindful of your surroundings. And that's exactly what we see and happen there. Going to be a problem here for Alchemists as they'll manage to capitalize, taking care of the Dokkaebi, but still the pressure we see being brought from Synergy has always been something that builds up, takes the sweet time, and they're not scared to get patient here as Erpin looks to capitalize. Anybody who walks through this construction door is going to get deleted, and that's patience is a virtue. Maza looking to rush towards Red here, gets the knockoff here, but quickly refragged by Erpin sitting on the angle, and I told you it's all about the teamwork, but DKag looking to have a response for himself as he'll find one. A double swing here as Erpin and DKag will manage to find a trade, and that might be the deciding factor here as it's a 1v1 in the wallbang of Pax. Will be able to close out the round. That's going to be a problem here. Again, 5-1 will be the scoreline as they'll approach the halftime. And that will be Synergy to claim a 4-round lead as they'll switch on over. Let's take a look at that trade yet again. Beautiful crosshair placement here by Erpin. The initiative from DKag is there, but his team just isn't doing enough to be able to comfort that play. I mean, the crosshair placement is there. The initiative from Erpin is there as well. Plays the bullet hole, takes his time. The punch hole manages to work out in his favor, capitalizes, reels it back in after finding a refrag, finding his teammate dead. It works out in his favor, but it all falls down here for the Alchemists as they allow that to continue to happen. Again, that's the second time we've seen that wall soft. It had been reinforced the last 2 times. We could have been seeing 2 completely different outcomes. That refrag wouldn't have been a possibility, and that'll be Synergy, though, to continue and capitalize off of the mistakes of Alchemists, claiming that 5-1 lead. Basement will be the name of the game. The first choice of poison here for Synergy. If they attack that well, you can only imagine what their defense looks like. Masa going for the cracked out verticality strat here. Playing it kind of solo, doesn't seem to care. But we're gonna see a multitude of players roaming around the map here, in and around. You'll have some on the second, some on the first, and they'll just look to continue and keep their terror closed on in. But focusing on the attackers here, Void first body in the building, looking to try to find a sneaky kill and might be able to actually capitalize upon that. Sneaking oh so close as the close angle here. You had to check behind the desk and you didn't. Erpin gifted 1, looking to rotate as he manages to get forced in. Finds first blood, takes care of a Grim, which is almost an operator you see banned every single time here on Clubhouse. Just not seen this time. He's brought, but you don't even have the gift of using his ability. You check behind the desk, that's logistics clearing 101. First man taken care of. Masamitsu looking to double up here with his teammate and try to find this Ash. Habana, though, coming to the aid, as well as the player holding the case, being toxic, approaching the logistics hatch as well. Beautiful pinch here. Erpin seeking refuge on the stairs, but he's going to be able to bait his teammate perfectly as Masamitsu is now set up here for a perfect kill, but he moved too fast. He took his sweet time, and it's not going to work out in his favor. You have a pea shooter of a weapon, and you have to be able to take your time when it comes to baiting that out. Erpin still on these stairs, looking to capitalize and might be able to do so. The Ash goes in from below and tries to find the pint. It was the right idea, just not in the timely fashion as Erpin reads it. He's too familiar with the game, capitalizes back to sight, waltzes off with a 4v4. Beautiful roam here by Synergy as they've managed to keep one hatch closed, the next soon to be open. Kitchen's completely soft, but there's a little under a minute left and they still have to approach, taking care of all the utility. That's a problem for the Alchemists to try to approach, and they're going to be able to try and just push in here, isolate the gunfights, or suffer the consequences. Blue seeming to be the main idea, clearing it up. Wamai's, though, looking to catch. It's going to be even more painful as 2 Wamai discs are there to claim. Hatches is going to stay intact alongside with the Black Mirror. No joy here from the Ash as they continue to make this even worse for Synergy. Now, The reinforcement goes out as well, making matters even worse. No refuge, no quick angles behind anybody playing behind the bar. C4 somehow doesn't land. Ash trying to seek refuge, but 10 seconds left on the clock. It'll be a down here onto Toxic from Devs TCSG. Zinx finding a kill, but not fast enough. It is quickly refragged out. Ash goes for the solo individual, but the clock will run out on them. I told you, not done in a timely manner, you'll suffer the consequences, as it'll be Synergy to find the next round, and it feels like me saying it over and over again is getting repetitive. Match point is the name of the game. 6-1 is the scoreboard, and we are going to move on to Layer if it's going to be as quick a shutout as I think it'll be. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, this is a problem. This is a problem that needs to be addressed. Not a single timeout called yet. And honestly, you're going to have to wonder, when you're losing 6-1 on the first map of a BO5, what's the next step here to be able to bring it? But let's see what'll happen next. As Synergy is going to do something Alchemists haven't approached before, they'll be open to trying CC, and they'll be going for the sites that are a little bit more condensed if you haven't been able to tell. Gym and Bedroom requires an extensive hold. But, again, they went basement first. It worked out for them perfectly, so they'll decide to take on CC, and let's see where that'll take us. We're on the match point here. Not much to lose. If they were even to try to think and throw it, they'll have 5 rounds to experiment, but I don't think that'll be the case here, as nobody seems to be letting their foot off the gas. The hold looks progressive, and Alchemists need a response. Just look at the plays here. They just be going for anything, setting up anything randomly to be able to force the attackers and clearing them. Now, all of this time wasted by one person is going to be a problem, and it's Masamitsu, meaning he does some random strats, but has the ability to waste the time as well. Blackbeard looking to clear Masa, can't chase because it's such a risky situation. You have no intel, you have no drones facing him, and he's allowed to just rotate right back up secret like nothing happened and be able to help out with his teammates. Or he can stay down here and play off the garage angle from the ladders. But again, it's all about his ability to be able to recognize the play. Blackbeard looking to get lucky here, finally connects his second frag, even though he has a burst ability, but no teamwork from his teammates, no support is not going to allow him to make a risky play like that. Breach looking to be opened up soon as well. Bandit somehow still managing, but not getting it in time. You had it gifted to you, and you didn't use your audio in time to be able to capitalize. It stands up at 5v5 with 1:30 left in play. Clock slowly running down. Seconds starting to matter more and more by the second. Masamitsu might have a pivotal flank here if Garage becomes a place that a zombie cannot hold anymore. Looks to be a Borderlands, but right now, Masamitsu's the one to be first blood. Completely falling to the drone, but a pixel here from Pax will be able to do the job and find a refrag. And they'll try to find themselves right back up at level. Bodies looking to rain in. We approach the 1-minute marker again. We have 8 bodies this time up, and the miss from DKEG again is going to be a problem. He has to wait for the regeneration of the burst, and it'll take some time for that to be able to happen. Call of Duty style round again. They're gonna have to be able to just try to funnel in, look for a kill here, but it's going to be a little difficult when you have Garage still lost here and protected by the Kibas in the Azami's pocket. The case going to be in the hands of the man playing outside the breach, and he's going to look to try and enter, but just to make matters worse, Erpin just waltzes down. Red finds a kill and resets. That'll be Dev to swing at the main breach, find another. The kid is loose now. The Volcan's popped. It'll be there until there's 1 second left in the round. Tactics finding a refrag, but after what? After all the costs here, you've left your Blackbeard all by himself as he manages to give you a free kill. Tactics forced to go for a Call of Duty playstyle here, leaving it at a 2v1, but Dev Pack's teamwork is just too good for the heroics from Tactics to work here. Almost had it in his hands, but 7-1 is the scoreline. That'll be game, and Synergy to take a map in their favor as they'll head on over to Layer. beautifully played here by just one team. We saw the first one in the favor of the Alchemists. We thought it was going to start out beautifully in their favor, but just not happening. But we'll keep our final thoughts in our heads as we will come back after this short break.
What?
Hello? There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, as we come back from a break, I apologize for a little bit of a extended break, but we do come back in with the action. We move on to map 2 after a interesting first. We'll move on over to Layer. Now, this is going to be Synergy's pick, and they have picked Attack for some reason. But again, it's all about how you play this map. It's one of those complicated ones where if you're not coordinated, you are screwed. Excited to see what is next in favor, especially when we take a look at the maps that are ahead of us. We go from this map onto none other than, I'm pretty sure, Bank. No, it's Consulate, then Bank. Imagine the teamwork that is going to need to be seen from each team here. Almost had a stroke there, but as we've seen before, I mean, a 7-1 to bring the series to a start is just an absolute problem to see. But regardless, we head on over and let's take a look. Let's see if we have a play from previous map to see if we can understand what kind of went wrong. But again, I don't know. Let's see if my replay operators are going to be nice to me. I mean, yeah, it's a problem to deal with. You have one man watching the punch holes, the cross in a wall that should have been reinforced, and it just all goes downhill from there. That's a problem, man. You have one of the most important walls soft. You take a hit as a refrag, and then as your smoke tries to find a refrag, it becomes a problem as he gets one tapped as well, and it opens up CC, opens up the life, and that'll be a problem to deal with that needs to be addressed here from Alchemists. As we've had a little bit of a prolonged break, hopefully that'll be something they've addressed, and as they'll be defending first, hopefully they can capitalize off of that, or we'll just be seeing Synergy run their brutal run, similar to last game. We'll head on over upstairs, command the first poison choice here from the Alchemist. I've always had an interesting way of describing the first sight. But the initial sight will be upstairs here. It's very important to be able to play it out perfectly or you are going to suffer. As of now, though, this will be a little interesting. You'll have the ability to hold it down. You have mirror, you have smoke, you have everything gifted to you to be able to keep this site locked down. But they had that before. The way they played last map, it wasn't as a team. It was just as 5 players kind of just randomly slapped together. But now that seems to be a different initiative as Void opens up the first kill of this map, taking care of Death. You've lost now the soft creature. You've lost the man who's supposed to play in from below and take out the feet of the defenders as they look to seek refuge somewhere in sight, but they wouldn't be able to considering it's all soft. But that is now a possibility that is completely taken care of. Masamitsu looking for a single entry here. Now, being denied by a singular F-Knot. Has he been able to find it is the question here. We saw when he turned the corner, he got affected by it. But now the Mira is going to be the main problem. And as the clock ticks down, they're going to have to be mindful here that clearing is going to take time, especially when there's so much utility here left on the clock. But, I mean, it's a different initiative. Void gets aggressive again, but can't get lucky the second time around, and he'll go 1 for 1. Looking to find a singular mistake here in the Alchemist's hold, and if they're able to do so, we've seen Synergy, they look for a thread, even if it's the smallest of threads, and they pull on it until there is nothing left, and they've been continuously doing that, as seen on Clubhouse. That's exactly what they'll do. They'll rain into action here. No joy as a double kill from DK gets him too, and that will be the play denied. A minute 14 left on the clock to completely abandoning that meeting area. Gas canisters, the teamwork to be able to try to look for the bathroom in the long haul just no longer there. It doesn't even matter at this point. The kit is loose. The defenders are now stronger than ever. The kit is inside within their reach, and this has become a site that looks to be in the favor of the Alchemist. Beautiful way to get the first pick and then take care of the players getting overly aggressive. Beautifully executed, and Smoke looks to use his last canister to continue and deny. 40 seconds, a 2v4 with all the bodies left on site. Plenty of time to be able to find something here, but you have to find the next kill. A 1v4 is so much different, and there's so many areas of pressure, but a 1v4 it will be, as it'll be free Toxic to find it. Tactics on the next, and it's not even going to be an option here to find a refrag, as this is a different Alchemist from last game, but we've seen it before. They'll win the first round and then forget how to play Rainbow Six Siege the next. Hopefully they can continue with this momentum into the next round with the same passion. I mean, the drone really sets them up there, looks to connect with the Mira, but initially sets them up to get a perfect go of play here. They get the go-ahead coming in from the Twitch. They hop on in. They use it all to their advantage, but just the aim, the crosshair placement brought in by DKAG is just a factor they haven't been able to take into account, and they suffer the pressures of it. That's kind of what happens here on Layer when you don't take everything into account, and they'll suffer the big problem of over-aggression here, and they will fall first round. As last game went in the favor of Synergy 7-1, they're going to need to have a response. It just can't be as easy as they're letting it seem to be. As we'll take a look here at the next area of hold, looking to try to get lucky. They'll take their sweet old time. It's all about trying to find the utility first. Team-based game, coordinate, find that utility, and then execute off of that fact. As we see, Squirt probably going to be the first man to enter the building. Masamitsu takes that personally. He's already in shooting range, walks into the long angle, and claims life here of Zinx. Legion Shotgun is a problem to deal with, but now no longer, as he's taken care of, and Pax, the next man, getting aggressive as they'll look to clear the next operators. First call will rain on now, and it will look to claim the audio of Tactics and Void, as they are going to be the two bodies upstairs here. Free fires of doom here as he looks to get lucky. No joy. F not getting aggressive here, denying the time and the space, trying to be covered here by the Alchemist, but it still continues to rain on in as they'll manage to push down Void and Tactics back to site. Could have been two very unfortunate casualties here, but they'll manage to walk out of it unscathed, and the dock stim will reset for the minimal damage that was taken. Verticality looking to be established here by Squirt. He has everything needed to try to find a kill, but it isn't going to be that easy. Alchemists, they might have fallen last round quite easier, last map kind of easily, but now they look to try and bring it back in their favor. So much left to do here. Tactics, though, evening it out for his teammates a minute later, taking care of Pax, and that'll be the second call used out in time, so no loss of utility, but Void making it an even bigger problem, taking care of Dev. Erpin humping Squirts for some reason, as now they look to find a refrag, but there's just no joy. The kit loose, less than a minute left, and all of these defenders have taken a stationary position just to try and run down the clock. Full reset here from Ozza, looks to rotate onto the filtration side as he actually looks to enter in through the tunnel. We'll have no type of silent entry here. They're aware. F not makes matters worse here. The Vulcan denies him, and it won't be gone until there's 15 seconds left. Squirts, they'll finally find something by just full dropping the hatch. Tactics finds a quick refrag onto Erpin, and Walt is on up. Toxic, Void, link up to find the next, making it a 1v3. Bursting everything into action here. And maybe not the best of ideas to choose attack first, but maybe it's all a part of the game plan. Masamitsu left here at around 40 HP, left to try and dissect. Try to find 3 bodies. No problem here, Masa. You're gonna fall 2 rounds short, but you have a total of 6 on attack to get it right. But DKAG, though, doesn't seem to want that initiative to go by lightly, as he will claim his life via verticality, giving the deficit to increase via 2. They've won upstairs, they've won downstairs, so what's left? Then the middle. They will go on to the bunks briefing site. Now, this site, it's a little confusing. I mean, if you know how to play as a team, it's very easy to hold. It's essentially made up of 2 factors. The first, get upstairs, establish verticality. The second one kind of goes hand in hand. Don't die on the verticality here, because this site is mainly soft. The roof is literally all wood. Now, the main thing is you are going to be dealing with a lot of external pressure here coming in from Synergy. They're a coordinated team. They know what to do. You just need to be able to hold them off at bay in a timely fashion. Maybe leave one player to sacrifice upstairs as they continue to run off the clock as well, and try to get it to a situation where you're below the 1 minute marker, because then it'll force them to make mistakes they don't want to make. When you're crunched for time, you'll do some stupid things. You'll send in a drone to a complete opposite area. You won't even drone. It'll be a problem to deal with. And that's honestly the idea that Alchemists should bring into their play, bring it to life, as they could potentially find themselves with a 3-0 advantage. Masamitsu looks to enter first, boots on the ground. He waltzes into security. No opposition. I don't even think anybody's heard him here. No camera to find the intel. No one's on the default. He's just going to continue to walk on through, and this might be a problem. Asa just walking in. Nobody seems to be the wiser. Bulletproof camera not there. Gone 6 also not there, and he'll look to have to clear upstairs as the site door will be castled off. Masamitsu, the only player now in the building, looking to try and find a first pick. Taking his sweet time, but he has a nice fiery surprise waiting for him, called the Legion Shotgun. If not, will distract and disorient Pax first. Masamitsu, just one bullet to be taken care of. Pax slowed down by the goo mine, and now this has become DKEG's corridor. Anything you want to do, you have to go by him first, and he'll use it to his advantage. First blood in the favor of Alchemists yet again, as they'll take care of Masamitsu. But as things stand, 4v5 still very achievable. 1 minute 35 left on the clock, and Blitz seems to be flying into the site here. First flash, not even going to be used here. There you go. Has the ability to find an easy kill, but he'll lag, and it'll be a quick trade. One tap somehow manages to give you the best case scenario, but DKEG with a quick refrag will allow the case to go loose in his favor, in his possession. And now what a horrible time to lag, as it's now left at a 2v4. One above, one below. Thanks to fall short of the R4C in the hands of Erpin, but still so much left to be done. Time is still in their favor, but you need to clear this operator that has a shotgun. Brutal to deal with, a pain to deal with, and now, to make matters even worse, you'll have squirts going down to below 10 HP. Looking to capitalize. It'll be a game of ring around the rosy here as he tries to look and avoid the damage while trying to inflict as much as possible. Erpin, projectile breaches in the pocket, and he looks to try and capitalize. Still going to be a problem here. As Castle looks to abuse his map knowledge. Squirt's aiming crouch level, and that'll be a problem here. Toxic getting taken down to 20 HP. The finish is confirmed here by Tactics, as now a 1v3 leaves Erpin 100 HP, 14 seconds in a man, surrounded by defenders circling like sharks. It'll be a problem as the case loose, nothing's in your favor. You're even down 2 rounds to make it worse, and that will send the Alchemists up 3. We move on over to Master and R6 yet again. It's been 3 rounds. The objective rotation has reset, and now they'll be allowed to hold it. They're currently 100% in the green zone for holding everything down. If they can continue this reign, maybe, just maybe, we see a 7-1 in the opposite favor. And what a way to start off the series. 1-7-1 in one person's favor, and 7-1 in the other team. Now, hopefully, because that would just make it cinema and force us to go beyond map 4. But again, it's all about the time, all about the clock. And right now, it's only up to Alchemists if they want to be able to continue their lead. As they'll bring the correct skeleton operators in lineup, they'll bring the essential structure. They have the Fenrir, they have the Mira, and it's starting to become a problem here how utilized Fenrir has become. And I've actually never seen that bandit battery before. What is this? It's a little bit interesting. You always learn something new while casting, and that's something I love about this. Verticality definitely going to be the main idea here for Squirt, as he managed to fall short the last time around, but all they really need to do is find first blood. Always the deciding factor of a round here. Always something that, if not a deciding factor, is just a major problem to deal with. C4 used a little bit too early, as you won't find Joy. Zinx to lose his first, Tactics to lose damage, but win the gunfight of emerging victorious, and that's yet again the verticality lost here by Synergy. The key factor of getting in the site is having a man playing below and scaring the defenders. Not seen, gonna be a problem here as they look to try and advance towards the site, try to get the wall open, but Pax has to play a game of Ring Around the Rosie to try and open up this breach. Toxic seeking refuge behind his mirror, giving up the hallway, but still going to be a major problem. They walk out with a body in their hand, but Erpin, though, smarter. The hatch still open, meaning anybody can go down and roam, but he has found a refrag for the time being. Masa shoots off the far side of the breach, making it a reliable source to be able to try to get in the building here. No ace, meaning if you want to have that double-sided angle, you'll have to be able to go both ways. But now, as Mira will drop the hatch, she'll be going for a flank here, but it bursts into action as Masa will find first. He'll be F-knotted off, though, as the plan will go down, and there's no response here, no smoke grenades. It'll go down regardless if you try to find a C4. It'll be Mira to try to go for a flank here while Tactics deals with everything on site, and it'll be a problem. No response here coming in from Alchemist, and it looks like this is the synergy we saw last map. They've woken up. They found their footing as Erpin just flying through the map, making everything his, and you'll even find the last kill to make it a quad. That'll be the round, and a response finally here in favor of Synergy as they just close down that deficit to just 2 rounds now. 2 rounds before they switch off to defense. Don't mean to interpret anything here, but I feel like their main idea is try to get the hard objective out the way, which is to attack this map and then defend it, which will give them the advantage. And again, I could be wrong, but it seems to be that's their plan, is they're really trying different things, trying to adapt, and finally they found something that's worked. Mozzie being brought, that one operator we haven't seen recently, but now they'll head on over to the basement as one by one the sites will unlock the further we get away from when they were last won. Now taking a look here at Synergy, they bring the same roster we see almost every single time. They have the main man, the point man of entry, usually being Matamitu or Erpin, one being Spear, the other behind the shield, the hard breacher, the flank roamer, the one to find the roamers, and the Thatcher. Now, beautifully composed, the question is, can they act upon it? A 7-1 is definitely going to be avoided here for Alchemists. Avoided so well that it'll actually put them up 3-1. They'll just have to be able to try and hold on here. This could very well end off at a 3-3 situation, depending on how committed they really are. A uniform push here into Missile, and from Warehouse, they'll look to try to get into Missile and Showers. This will work out. This might be a problem here for Alchemists. Now, last time we saw them attack this, they kind of went for a scattered push via filtration and verticality, but now they're going to look to switch things up. As they've seen, he thinks on the verticality, he'll be a problem to deal with. He does have 0 kills, but does that really matter when you have one of the most lethal shotguns in the game and it's pointed down at one of the most key areas of entry here? Squirt's on the front line, looking to get lucky here. Nobody looking at him, might be able to capitalize here, as he might be able to just shoot somebody in the back without them noticing, but Goyo manages to save the life of his teammate unintentionally. Legion still being a problem here. The comm goes out. Moz knows exactly where he is, but you need to be able to capitalize sooner. The F-Knots are going to continue to hit your teammates. They're going to be held at bay as long as this Legion stays upstairs. A minute 30 left on the clock. Pax looks to capitalize, but Mazamito will frag out his own teammate in the meantime, and I need to wonder how that happened. Masa looking to capitalize. You see his head, but you're too late to react. Just zooms into the bandana of Mozzie for a good 5 business days, but can't have a response in the meantime, giving Alchemist the 2-man advantage. Missile still being anyone's game. Pax getting hit by his own F now, but now it's still going to be a problem. You've cleared the utility. You have 2 EMPs to try to set you up. The Thermite's not going to do anything anytime around. He's gotten the breach open. He's done everything that he's needed to do. Now, you 3 are going to be able to be tasked and try to find the gunfights. Try to isolate each defender and make it easier upon yourselves, but that shotgun above is just going to be a factor that'll be very annoying to deal with. DCAG to make the deficit worse. Tactics to grow it yet again to make it a 1v5, and we may be looking at a flawless round here in the 5th. They'll have 1 more to try to close out the deficit synergy, but now it just looks like they need to stop the Alchemist from building up such a good momentum they won't be able to have a response. Urban left all by himself in the missile hall, the kit not in his hand, just an R4C and ACOG and some dreams as he looks to find one, but has to act paranoid because there could be a flank, there could be a roamer, there could be a random area of verticality anywhere, and he looks to try to find a response, but can't even bait out for the kills. Will find one, but finished off by the goo mine in his pocket as he will fall, growing that disadvantage yet again in the favor here in Alchemists. Now it'll be a 4-1 scoreline. Absolutely lethal and brutal here for Synergy to deal with. Best case scenario, they ended off with a 4-2. Worst, we're going to 5-1, and we've seen this story again. Hopefully, it doesn't flip the table and it doesn't turn on the heads of Synergy. As this was easily their hardest site. I mean, the hardest site could have been the first time they've lost upstairs, but that was just a well-coordinated plan. If we're talking in terms of barely getting by, this is a site they've managed to win in the past, but they barely got on by. You had a man put you in a 1v3 situation to continue to take your health off, but you finished it off in a 2v1 with one of your players low. Not a horrible situation, but the closest round you've had so far to losing. And that is something. That is something to show. You've managed to wake up. I don't know what was said in between maps, but they look like they know what they want to do. They have a game plan, and they're sticking to it. As they are on their opponent's turf, there's lots to do here. But hopefully, they'll be able to capitalize. I'm taking a look here. This is my mistake. This is actually the Alchemist's pick. I had it all reversed. This is the Alchemist's pick, and Synergy is playing on their turf, but choosing attack first. Maybe they are trying to take the brunt of the damage in a little bit of a proactive phase. But Urpin, not really having a care in the world here. No Zinx to deal with you. Just an ACOG to shred the man in your crosshairs as Zinx is taken care of. Opening it all up here for Synergy. This is the time and the place that we can watch them thrive as we usually see them do this. The quick burst of action here. The aggression here met. And that will lead the exchange with them finding 2 bodies. Make it 3 as Urpin finds yet another. Maza looking to get lucky, but yet again, that one shotgun shell is enough to do the damage. Now, trying to get the jump on the swing here, but Dev is just too prepared for it to happen. 4v1, and it's just completely switched. The narrative is in the favor of Synergy here. Shotgun v shotgun, but DKEG emerges victorious. Looks to find another, but a minute 50 left on the clock. He's going to have to play Ringer on the road here with all of these drones, this utility, this verticality. It's all being established, and he is just going to be the bait that is going to fall for it. Eventually to fall into the crosshairs of one man, or maybe not, as he takes things into his own hands, thinks outside the box and goes for the flank here. The question is, is there a drone here on the flank? Every good team has a flank drone. Maybe the man sprinting at you full speed gives you the auto queue, and it'll be Pax to close out the round, giving them the advantage, but only by 2 rounds. Deficit been closed to just 2 here by Synergy as they'll switch on to defense. First choice here for Master in R6 is going to be Synergy's pick, as they'll go up here for the first time, and hopefully their defenses are more graceful than their attacks. Those were a little bit hard to see, especially the ones where they tried to get the jump on Alchemist, but how are you going to do it to them on their own map? Definitely something to take into consideration. Hopefully that'll be how they'll approach this site. I look to try and analyze what the attack could be here. No soft breacher is going to be found here. Grim is on the board, and usually you'll see teams bring him in the shotgun to try to play verticality. It's just not going to be seen. You will have your Thatcher getting taken care of, though, via run out as Erpin. Just not scared to get aggressive. The only man on his team that's positive currently with a reign of 9-3 next to his name, and that is something that, again, is something you need to analyze. You can't just have one man going 9-3. It'll be a problem later on. But as of now, small victories where you can find them. That'll be first blood taking care of the man who can help open the walls. But as of now, there's nobody to deny it in the first place. DCAG playing Sens here ever since his new buff. He's able to turn on and off these lasers. Now, this is beautiful once you know how to use it. The DMR is even more broken and you have frags. But again, does it really matter when you're being absolutely picked apart? Kings finds a response onto Squirt. Quick refrag here. A little ironic it was on the Warden, but a freaking impact grenade will be enough to do the job here, as it'll be Erpin to find the second, but gets quickly refragged over as him and Toxic will be in an exchange. DCAC to win onto Pax. It'll be a quick burst of gunfight here as Maza looks to adapt. No bueno, no joy, but Dev here to win it, as he'll land a headshot to try to reset things, as now DCAC is forced to go in through a door or the singular breach he's managed to open. Volcans need to be opened here, as they are going to be the main piece of utility lie up. One is going to be lined up here on operational. If I'm not mistaken, that operational breach isn't open. It's only opened up on the external side, meaning Dev is gifted a absolute blessing. You have a mirror, you have a deployable shield, and a Volcan canister. The clock is against the attackers. The only thing that's in their favor is the fact that he has a frag, his grenades, and the fact that he's using a DMR. But again, you still have the sight. DCAG getting aggressive here. Knows that DMR will pack a punch, but just not yet. Dev drops the hatch. Oh, that'll be a problem to deal with. I think he's heard it too. He was going to go directly for a plant. Regardless of what, he's going to try to get as much space in between him and that diffuser as possible. And that's going to be a problem here. Oh, you got to be able to reel it back in, Dev. Can't be doing that to yourself and your team, as it'll be a quick wall bang by DCAG to close it out. Beautiful awareness. He heard the hatch, he capitalized. He even knew where he was to be able to wall bang him. Beautiful, as they'll manage to reclaim their higher and higher lead. And this is a problem by Synergy. No timeout called yet, but it's something that needs to be addressed. Big problems with little time to be able to address it. I'm honestly lost for words here. We'll head on over to the basement. Scopos being brought here as the key roamer, I would imagine. Kind of makes sense. Scopos, that one operator that every team can benefit from. If there's no Vigil, she's the next the runner for up and coming here. I'm trying to find a way to structure this where I just don't sound like a babbling idiot. So Scopos has one of the highest skill gaps in this game. If you can't use her correctly, you are just going to look like a drone. Get what I did there? You're going to look like a drone, and your teammates are going to suffer from that as they'll waste a pick of an operator. But a teleporting robot that can reset her HP, has an AR, and impacts, is a roamer that is gifted by Ubisoft. And a little addition here, that hitbox is goddamn broken. I don't care what anybody says. Given in the hands of somebody like Masamitsu could be a problem. But, as we've seen so far, not having the best of games here. Let's see if this one operator is enough to get the job done. Preliminary gunfights all burst out into action as squirts to be found first off a drone, recovers his FNATs and looks to try and find sight. That hatch is soft. That is Siege 101. Reinforce the damn hatch, but he will look to seek refuge behind a desk. Looking to play receptionist Pam behind the desk here as he's live pinged in DCAG looking to capitalize. But something they haven't taken into account, Masamitsu is just waiting to capitalize off the man trying to walk through this door. Clock slowly ticks down. The attackers definitely taking their time, but not clearing the hatch. Scopos, easy transfer back to site, and that's what I mean. Quick, easy kill, as you'll find first blood, but you'll get quickly refragged, as your teammate will eat it. And now, Void goes down to below 10 HP, or right on the dot of 10 HP. 4v4, a minute 30 left on the clock, and you're still letting this man run absolutely wild. Twitch looking to capitalize, take care of the utility to grant easy access without having to deal with the FNATs. And the question is, does she have the ability to find it in a timely fashion? As we approach that below 1 minute marker, have they just dropped? They're looking to do it. They're waiting. They know where the first person is, but they're completely unaware that Maz is on a roam. Pax gets fragged up by Toxic, Zinks onto Devin. It looks like it's all in action, and that's just via verticality. That'll be a problem. Maz shut out by Void, and now this is the Alchemist we were expecting to see here today. Give Synergy a run for their money. Maybe just because you're on your home turf, but right now, they're on defense, and they're struggling to stop the amount of aggression that comes from your pushes. The coordination, maybe that's something that you need to take on to the next map, held up high with confidence, but right now Erpin is not going down without a fight. Pierces and finds first blood onto the post stage of all of these gunfights. Erpin looking up but not looking down. Check your corners, then do whatever the hell you want. Fundamentals here of Siege completely ignored as we will advance on to the match point. That'll be Synergy to have a map response, but quickly shut out here. They'll found Clubhouse, but they cannot find Lair as Alchemists will claim the match point. It's kind of crazy. It's gone 2-6, 1-7. I mean, we're going to crazy stat lines that look very identical. A little interesting here. Scopos gets rotated, not Masamitsu's favor this time. It'll be Erpin. I mean, honestly, makes sense. He's 11-5, having a good game, but the teamwork needs to be there. I mean, maybe a timeout just isn't going to be sufficient, and they know it. They're on their opponent's map, and they won't be able to capitalize. But again, you kind of have to try. You can't be falling short with this many rounds in difference, because when we get to that last map, if we get to the last map, these rounds are going to matter. How you played, the momentum you've brought is always going to matter, regardless of whose map you're on. But Enough of the yap. As we advance on, Alchemists match point here as they look to walk in. Just get aggressive real fast. Urban trying to capitalize and was 2 seconds away from finding a double kill, but the quick reactions will deny any thought of a run out. Zinx setting himself up here. He realizes there's no Goyo slapped on the window. An easy rush. He just needs the accommodation of a teammate to be able to capitalize. Nobody in meeting. Nobody's waiting for anything. Nobody's even in the bathroom. Goyo quickly reads, finally rotates off. Shoots the drone. Should be expecting tactics falls first to Urpin. Almost a quick refrag as it all emerges here in the long hall. Quick refrag as Urpin finds 2. Looking to find the 3rd, and he'll pierce yet again. Headshot master himself, and if he transfers off of that robot, he'll manage to find a health reset. Zinx landing a flash to save his life, but a refrag here from DKAG, make it 2, will close down that deficit to just 1 body, and that'll be Synergy to reel it back in after letting it go wild. Now, DKAG 14-2, having a generational game, having a beautiful time, paired up with Zinx here. He has 3 flashes to capitalize, but somebody's gonna have to drone out this corner. Corner's been the main problem here that we've been seeing. We've been seeing a lot of aggression just not met up with caution, and if you were to hop in either window, it'll just be a problem to deal with. 1 drone stands in between this round and its fate. As 1 minute is on the clock, that's plenty of time to be able to just reset and not stay committed to 1 window, but they will commit the drones over here, and that is exactly the type of teamwork I like to see. DKAG took it a little bit short here, but didn't look in the corner. 4 rings out, no damage, connection. 45 seconds left, and it's going to be a game of utility here. They just need to claim the life of this bandit to be able to open up the clam, find the pearl, and capitalize. As Mira looks to throw C4, it is not shot at the sky as Dev manages to find one, but a triple kill here from DKAG. The heroics from each team, it gets a little crazy. You'll look to frag yourself, and what do you expect to happen? Wait out the frag, take a prone position, don't get up close to a holographic, because that's kind of what's gonna happen. You're gonna die, and that'll be what is the deciding factor as they manage to hold on a little bit longer to the end of this map. They will go to 3-6. Match point imminent. Lab, potentially the last site played here. Synergy, right now, finds 1 singular response, but Alchemists just don't stop. They almost managed to bring it back in after losing 3 bodies in about 15 seconds. They're managing to hold on here, but it's definitely going to be a problem in future maps if they cannot hold on. Consulate is next up, right after it's Bank. So many maps here that require the most amount of coordination here. We're going to need to be able to see something better here from Synergy. 7-1 was a beautiful way to start off the series. The coordination was beautiful, but we can't even see a gunfight here as they look to get the utility down. They look to get the better of the utility, but they just can't capitalize. Not then, not now. We'll see if that's going to be the same as we move on to the next map after this round, hopefully. Also looking to capitalize here, might be able to find joy as these attackers are circling. Gotta be able to find it. Patience would have been the virtue right there as you would have been able to find the connection. But no, no, no. Nomad, Void, Urpin looking to get into it as she'll narrowly miss his exit. And now the obvious identification of 2 roamers should have been identified here, because I haven't seen a drone Ronan in, and that's exactly what will set up here. An easy 2v1 here. Void will manage to capitalize, walk out of it with 1 DKAG for 1 as well. Didn't need to find the second roamer. If you have a buddy behind you with an F2, as you'll shred off all of Mazamitu's HP, putting him in the grave, utterly and usefully useless. See what I did there? Wordplay, call me Dr. Seuss here as they go up 2 bodies with plenty of time left on the clock. A 3rd roamer to just top off everything, the cherry on top, and it'll be 1 here for Pax. These punch rolls have really been working out here for Synergy, as that's been the key to finding refrags. We've seen it twice now. Pax looking to find joy, no connection with the C4. It'll be tactics versus the man trying to keep out these filtration stairs. A flash will hit himself, but it's enough to just get across the hall. Now, a 1v1 here will remain until somebody is courageous enough to just stick their face into the crosshair. Clock ticking, verticality yet to be established. Only one boogie drone used. Again, you just have to be mindful of your time. We've seen it so many times already. They start rushing the plant within the last 30 seconds, 20 seconds, and that goes for both teams. It's going to be a problem. As of now, they're one man up. Reset, look for something to capitalize upon before you're pinched for time and you can't make a decision fast enough. Toxic looking to execute here, but not. Just missing Pax's head by a bullet. And now, again, the time, so important. You guys have done nothing so far. Being cautious, yes, I love to see it, but where are the drones? Where's the verticality? And finally, Zinx waking up using both of his boogie drones, establishing that. Has the easy angles if the plant is to go down near the filtration side. But right now, they just need to be able to find the gap. Find that thread, pull on it, and capitalize. And it looks like that's exactly what they're doing. Maybe a little too late, as Thermite will open up the breach with 25 left on the clock. Not enough time to drone. Just have to be able to rely on each other as a team. Be able to coordinate, capitalize, and find. But as of now, they're still going to find themselves in a tricky situation here. Flashes raining in, teamwork as they look to find DKAG, finding the first, looking to find the next, but you just have to get Toxic in the site to plant. No C4. You do have an Echo, though. You're going to need to find him. Where's his Yokai? It'll connect in Synergy. Barely advance. I told you, utility is definitely going to be a painful problem to deal with when you're not executing within your time frame. Time pinched, didn't realize there was a Yokai drone in the distance. Fires the Sonic blindly into the smoke, and it'll give him the denial needed to be able to further his team in this game. Timeout definitely needed to be used. Beautiful call here as you give the ability to mentally reset on what you've just witnessed. You were up by so many rounds. There was only 2 rounds in response by the time you were at the match point, but now it looks like Synergy are finding their footing. Despite losing 2 bodies off of the spawn, they're now still managing to claw their way into this game. As this timeout approaches its end, oh, it's so important. I just cannot stress how either team is playing. They're both doing exceptionally well. Alchemists head held up high. That's a tongue twister. Say that 5 times. Their heads held up high after a 7-1 defeat, and they'll manage to bring it to match point on their own map. Synergy going down match point, looking at a 2-6 barrel, but still managing to recalibrate and bring it back here. Now, as we head on over, the way it stands, I don't know where I've gotten myself. Okay, I don't know where I got a southern accent from, but as it stands, Synergy have found themselves in a quite nice groove. It's only been 2 rounds, but it's been enough to keep them in the game. The difference is only 2 rounds, and it's a very possible opportunity to be able to capitalize upon. Yet again, Masamitsu just really doesn't let his foot off the gas. Going to continue to get aggressive here. They're going to go for the verticality play. They'll have the castle, which is something we didn't see from Synergy, or from Alchemist, my apologies. But they will lack the ability to bring somebody who's oh so important by the name of Azami. Looking for joy as they take their sweet old time to drone out here. First boot on the ground will be Void as he looks to capitalize. Drones are going to find him in the human guide as they look. But as of now, Erpin will be standing at the top of the stairs with a menacing position to be able to try and deny. DKag looking to line up a kill here. There's a drone. Again, that's been a problem here for Synergy. The drone's just raining in as well. Been a problem, but they're able to work their ways around it. Solos would have been a beautiful pick here, but just not seen ever since her nerf. Something also not seen is the ability to bring a wall to it. But as the first floor is the main site, having this breach opened up a minute and 30 into the round is going to be a problem. And you know what makes it even worse? When Maz and Squirt managed to get 2 kills at the exact same time to give them that 2-round differential. Now, something we've said before, the caster's curse, when they go up 2 bodies, it's always the team that has 3 bodies that manages to cinch and manage to clutch it. But as of now, it's looking a lot more uniform in favor here of Synergy. His verticality is still yet to be established, and Masamitsu just running his reign of terror and finally finding his footing. Nothing is being found here. No wiggle room left for Alchemists as DKag in a pool of defenders alongside with Zinx. The kid is in his hands, and he's going to have to be extra careful with that fact. Fenrir just aggressively sprinting at him, and what a play here by Pax to be able to get that kit loose of him, and DKag now left in a situation of a 1v3, kit not in his hands, and 20 kills soon to be his as he will claim that title as he goes up to 20. But 2v1, 40 seconds left, and you have a long way to go. One man to deal with here on the front lines being Masamitsu, and it'll be enough to close you out. Triple kill here in his hands will be enough as they manage to now bring it 1 round short of the match point, and this could be a generational comeback here for Synergy. If they manage to do this, they can go to the series point and head on over to their own map. It's starting to get sweaty in here. What I thought was going to be a reverse sweep proceeds to completely turn the table, and this might be a problem, ladies and gentlemen. Taking a wow break as I'm just admiring the way Alchemists are managing to toss this. The timeout seems to have done absolutely nothing. You usually see teams that come off a timeout manage to win it and just close it out, but not seen. As Synergy looks to continue and try to bring it to overtime. As we are in a grand final, this will be an infinite overtime game, meaning unless somebody grabs a 2-round advantage, we go back and forth as long as 1 round remains in between either team. Oh my god, just give it up, man. Masamitsu for the 90th time going for a run out, but not being able to find. As of now, though, having like a 2-7 game wasn't the best of ideas, but now he's really managed to find his footing, and he's having a good old time. Void yet again being the boots on the ground first, the man on the front lines to try to find first blood. Last time shut out by Erpin. Now going to be a problem if he can't manage to capitalize again. You need to be able to rely on your spear entry, and that's just not something we've been seeing from the man. DKag though, speak of the devil, man has 20 kills next to his name to 4 deaths. What a crazy stat line, as he's really forced to have that individual clutch factor for himself. But his team needs to rein it in and catch up. As now we're watching each and every attacker look to come knocking on the door. They will find one as a refrag of their former teammate Death Toxic, but Dev has a response for that, finding the first. DKag looking to get lucky and almost managing to land a frag kill. Only 1 second standing in between DKag and finding a kill onto Dev. Now, left as it is, the case is in his possession. A stim could be awaiting as he looks to get closer and closer here. A little bit risky, but DKag isn't even close as that stim will be distributed. The case in his favor. Mira up, and all of the stars are aligning, but not for Squirt as he gets shot out here, as he just needed to waste his time, but just couldn't do that. That'll be a 3v3 stalemate established here by Tactics. He finds a triple kill, but his teammate goes down in the meantime. Needs to find the res here as Masamitsu manages to land the C4. And if they can capitalize in time, this is going to be a bloodbath in this room. BCAG reading the play from Masamitsu, leaving his teammate in a 1v3 situation. Not the heroics you needed. It was a 3v3 regardless. Going down to a 2v3 makes it obtainable, but now all three bodies are up and you've left one man with a holographic at range who's managed to do the same thing twice. That's a problem. Dev, no situational awareness of the map as he manages to fall down the hatch in a 1vx for the second time this series. Tactics coming on the door, looking to have a response, knocking, but now he just breaks the door down, aggressively swings as he finds 4, and that'll be game shut out. Alchemists manage to barely stop a comeback from happening as the team of the Synergies managed to just almost do it. We'll head on over, ladies and gentlemen, to Consulate right after this, after a short break. It'll be about a minute or two, hopefully not as annoying as the last one, but make sure to leave a follow if you're enjoying so far, and we will be back soon. I've managed to find my glasses yet again. I look like a pimp straight out of LA, but without further ado, we advance on to our third map of the day. This can only end out in map 4 or sooner. So maps 4 and 5, they're going to be some big ones. But as this band phase is going to get finished up here, ladies and gentlemen, sit tight, grab a snack if you need, and let's take a look at the map that's ahead of us for the day. We head right back on into the game. There is no stoppage of time here. Quick break. Both teams rejuvenated. A new faces ITQC manages to sub in. I'm not calling him by that name throughout, as that literally will sound like I'm trying to rap. So IT will sub in. Last time I saw him play was on Consulate last week as well in the semifinals. So he's managed to dismantle a team on this before. Can he just do it again? Critical aspects here for both teams now leveled here. Synergy kind of giving the other team a scare on their own map. Alchemists, lots to be addressed here, and I hope that halftime really gave them the ability to be able to lock in, talk to each other about what's going wrong, what can they do different, because it'll be a problem if they didn't, and it's all gonna show right here, right now. This Synergy's pick as they somehow managed to go to Consulate on attack first. Gonna be quite interesting to see how they'll play it out, but as always, we are down to see it. And if you are just joining us right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are on map 3 out of 5 potential maps in the grand final in WildboyZ Prime's Rush. Now, this is my third back-to-back-to-back grand final. 2 of them were played out on Saturday and Sunday. Now I'm here representing the NAC. Now, lots to be done, but we have to be mindful. These teams need to get their heads out of the basket. Now, they've each won their own map pick, which is beautiful, but we've been seeing some interesting plays. Clubhouse, the trades were a little interesting. Some swings that weren't needed were happening. On later, we've seen Masamitsu going 2 and 9 and then swinging and swamp peeking everything. Granted, it gave him 4 kills one time, so I can't say much about that, but both teams just need to wind out and get rid of those small little errors to be able to try and win the map easier and smoother. Looking to capitalize here. There is a punch hole there from the previous areas of the man trying to get there, but one person on the rappel stays committed, and the call will go out soon if you hear those bullets from the Aurora rain out. Now, they've advanced on towards admin. It doesn't matter. Blackbeard finds first blood. That's Pax. ITQC gets refragged quickly after by DKAG, meaning those blockers will not be seen for the remainder of this round. Volcan getting popped, taking care of 50% of Urpin's health. My apologies. Dev finds a quick frag off the long angle on the desk. Now, Pax advancing towards Vending, clearing out the shield and pushing all the way to try to keep Warden at bay. Void finds a refrag in the meantime, leaving it off level as Urpin gets shot in the back. DKAG finds 2 as he is on the teller's flank and allowed to completely reset as there's no castle standing in between him and the spiral stairs. Easy access into sight. If Pax turns around, there's going to be 2 bodies to deal with, but a quick wallbang from Void should do the job. Dev for 2 as well, but is it enough to lock it out? DKAG having a generational game, round, and series as he found above 20 kills last map, and now he's looking to find that record yet again as he'll find a 3K to give the first in the favor of the Alchemists. We're 2 hours in and both teams looking like they're starting to get accustomed to each other's play style. So much for them to be able to do here, and hopefully they'll be able to do it in a timely fashion as they're looking like they're having a great time so far. This game, it's oh so important that you know how to play it as a team, as right now it only looks like only one team knows how to do it, and it's Alchemists. Synergy kind of going for a Call of Duty playstyle, and it hasn't been able to work out for them since the first map, and that's just because it was their pick. Now, having up to go on their own map, but having to be on attack first makes it a little bit harder, but this is just not the groove we were seeing from them 2 maps ago. Granted, though, they managed to almost make a comeback on the second map, so I can't say much. First blood, decag via spawn peak. You have to be able to close out those angles, especially when you're trying to make a comeback. Not viable, though. Synergy falls short, and they'll lose one of their most important players falling down. Spear entry gone. Rush is still going to go down. They're not going to care. They're just going to see it as a setback here, as Masamitsu's given the case, having to trade out, and that is just pure stupidity. Nothing else here to call that but bullshit, as now 2 bodies fall. The pure miscommunication on who gets the case. Masamitsu and Pax literally just kissing each other at this point to eat the impact of the C4 together. Now, you've died together as friends. Pax goes for a reset of game, and now Kit loose in the middle of sight in a 2v5, all in 40 seconds. That was a little bit interesting. 1v5 as DK continues to just put his foot on the accelerator, not looking to stop anytime soon, having an absolute blast as he looks to continue and terrorize the other team. DKag 1 HP, but he's the only one who's taken damage this whole map. Now, he's taking things into his own hands, just gets very aggressive and finds it when it's needed. He's doing absolutely great, I won't even lie to you. Having a great time, doing everything that's needed, and managing to capitalize every single round. Now, as Erpin has to deal with all of these defenders circling like sharks, he'll narrowly avoid the flawless round as he'll advance on towards the site. But still, so much time, so little opportunities, and how will you manage to capitalize? Trying to see how it all boils down to this moment as they look to try to capitalize. Ripon does have an Ash Breach in the pocket, but guess what? Having to counter to the fact that there's OMI on the board. Castle's just too busy utilizing his castle barricade in yellow, but Toxic's here. He doesn't really care what happens. He'll swing regardless. Gumine is his idea of what a sound cue is. He'll capitalize, swing, giving them the 2-0 advantage, and now Synergy starting to fall asleep behind the wheel as the Alchemists look to continue their momentum from the last map throughout. We advance on upstairs yet again. They've lost both sites now, going 0 for 2 on their defenses. Need to be able to lock out just one. Just get your foot in the door. They'll go for the round. They'll go for the site that splits the 2 bomb sites. One on the first, the second in the basement. Server Archives is the name, and now they will have to be able to try to prove themselves on a different one. Synergy, you've been gifted the ability to attack this split up site. Alchemists have capitalized upstairs. They've capitalized downstairs. They're 2 for 2. You're 0 for 2. It'll be a problem to deal with if you continue to let this happen. We saw what happened last game. Regardless of the comeback, even if it was imminent, they got shut out. 1 round was needed to be won, and they had 4 or 5 rounds to be able to bring it into OT, and that's exactly why we watched them fall short. As of now, no Pulse is going to be on the 3rd floor, looking to have his denial in the basement. Try to find any operator creeping, but it looks like a full clear coming in from the piano side is going to narrowly avoid any easy verticality. One Mira burnt, second looking soon to be gone as well, as it'll be Masa to try to trap the other man in the corner here, looking as if he's using the fully automatic, as he's not going to be relying on that DMR anymore. Legion trying to make use of his shotgun, but what good will that do if his bulletproof shield is in your face? Shots to the back by IT will claim the life here of the Legion. making his shotgun utterly useless, but Zinx with a quick refrag here and can completely leave alone. Needs to sprint back to site here as a shot in the back. Don't try something if you don't have a game plan. Castle Barricade trying to be ripped down, but doesn't work out. Urpin to also capitalize as well. This is what I meant. This is one of the harder sites. You aren't able to try to find something here, but the quick verticality of work here by the shotgun in the hands of Pulse and Toxic's contest will put them level at 2 on 2, leaving this in a completely different narrative. They can just sit back and relax now and wait for the initial ping to go for the plant here. But quick verticality here makes work of it. You have a Pulse on the other team. What do you expect to happen? Wow, the roof above you is just soft. It's shot out from just above you, and you have to be quicker to react to that. Way to reel it back in. Alchemists really using their map knowledge to their best extent as they'll find a way to make it a 2v5 all the way back down to a 1v2 where they're the ones that manage to emerge victorious. Urpin looking to find first blood of this 1v2, but the kid is loose and he needs to be mindful of his time. Trying to funnel his way slowly towards it. He'll get his fundamentals done. Using his ability, but a little too late, as that bulletproof camera will find him in the shotgun from the verticality, yet again will claim his life. What an essential operator. What a way to play Pulse, as it'll be Void to have that heroic play to be able to deny the plant. Next round, ladies and gentlemen, sends us to the absurd upstairs yet again. It's been 3 rounds, and this was the easiest round they've managed to win. From the heroics of DCAG, managing to terrorize anybody who got in his way, runouts raining in, flashy plays that gives him the lead, and that's exactly what you expect from a player who just wants to push his team further. Something I appreciate to see, and that's exactly why Alchemists are given, yet again, a very well-deserved 3-0 lead on their opponent's map. If they can continue to grow this, we might be seeing a series in their favor. Quiet here on the western front as the attackers look to try to make entry, and the defenders kind of just play time here, and that's the most important thing, taking your sweet old time. Because now, as it stands, you've had a great time holding this the first time. You'll be able to find easy bringbacks if you just relax and play it safe and smart. C4 looking to rain in here, might capitalize, might connect with Pax's face, but it won't. Quick diversion will just quickly look with a flick of a C4. Never seen that one before. Maz will find Tactics as a refrag, but Dev will get taken care of in the meantime. And wasn't enough time to be able to open up the breach? No, it wasn't. So the ace goes down, not able to use. Urpin tries to continue and starve out the utility, but guess who's on the flank? The man himself, DCAG. Is there a flank drone on him? Doesn't look like anybody's on it. You'll have Dev, though, watching the flank as he switches off for a second. Identifying the flank, being able to reset here allows a very easy flank to get diverted. The case loose, but you have Zing stuck in a corner here. What is his team going to do to help him out? Nothing, because he's a dog. He'll do it himself. Takes one down with him. If he managed to find that double, that would have been completely crucial to the integrity of the play from the attackers. Now, 3v3 is how it stands. 2 smokes in the pocket here to deny the long desk and hopefully something else. And find it in Masamitsu looking to find the pressure here on Spiral. Blackbeard looking to advance to the long desk. They're trying to play out their time here. Urpin again, same place, same time as he's forced out from the site via Goyo yet again. 44 seconds left, and his annoying ass is still on the flank. You didn't commit to clearing him earlier, and that'll be a problem. Blackbeard making himself an urgent threat as Pax will find one. Mazda trying to look for a flank here, but DCAG just waiting patiently for that diffuser to go down. It's all about the time. 30 seconds left, and if you can manage to continue and grow this very important time clock, it'll be important. But Void taking advantage of his surroundings, swinging out, taking care of Blackbeard. DCAG makes it a 1v1 as Masa's left on the other side of sight, no case in hand, leaving this at a 1v2 situation with 10 seconds on the clock. Pick up your teammate or go for the case. It's one of two, and you're going to be able to go for something as you'll go for a 1v1 situation, but you're completely unaware of the fact that the floor is opened up right below you. You could have had a completely different storyline if you ran across, but Masamitsu shut out by the heroics of DCAG yet again to give Alchemists an undefeated run so far on defense. If they can get up to 5 or 6, it doesn't matter if it's your map or not. This is going to be over. Quite interesting to see where it has brought us back to. Masamitsu, a clearly obvious name, something that doesn't need an introduction, and right now he's being shut out at every turn. It doesn't matter where he is, it doesn't matter what he's trying to do, he's shut out every single time he tries to do something different. Now currently going 1-4, switching on to the Deimos, which I'm very surprised I haven't seen so far, is going to be brought. Usually he gets banned, especially on this map where you look for the roamers, you look to get annoying. He'll manage, and now it's essential he manages to capitalize. Clock ticking down. Attackers put in a horrible spot here, getting deprived of any type of lead they look for. Maybe, just maybe, they look for a response. The best case scenario is they finish out halftime with a 2-round in hand, trying to keep it to just a 2-round deficit. But currently, the way it looks, Alchemists, they've been put in 2v5s, managed to win. They've been put in 5v5s and managed to win. They've been put in 1v2s, managed to win. Anything that you've required of these players, any test, it's been answered. But now, this one is going to be difficult as Erpin looks to just sneak in, Smoke completely unaware as to who is behind him, and that'll be first blood in the favor of Synergy, finally for the first time. Looking to just continue and capitalize on their gain. Taking their sweet old time. It's a 5v4 as now a server push seems to be imminent. Maybe verticality soon after, but as of now, we don't see a single roamer from the defenders, meaning a bunker down strategy. Might be a little bit more difficult to deal with when it comes to direct pressure, but it means more bodies, and it means teamwork. First Twitch drone narrowly managed to be evaded and not allowing that Mira to go down. They want to maintain their utility. They want to take care of it. That's going to be absolutely important if they want to have anything in their favor. Masamitsu finding 2 here as he waltzes on into the site. DCAG finding 1-2 as he's 9-2. 20 kills plus last game, and he manages to reel it back in. A 3v1 though, it doesn't matter if you're Bolo. That's heavy to do, especially on the receiving end of an AK-12 with the attacker circling around. That'll be finally a response here for Synergy as they'll manage to approach the halftime with only 1 round in hand. Hopefully they can find the second. Basement is going to be their last choice of defense here. Hopefully they can try and lock in, because oh, how much you're going to need for when you switch. Synergy gonna be granted the depths of attack right now, but going to be able to get a little bit of relief and hop on over to the defense after this. But again, it's something we saw on layer. They were falling so far behind. It didn't really matter what side they were on. The momentum built up from the opposing team. It was just too great to deal with, and that's kind of another situation that we're seeing right here. Looking to get lucky first, but cannot find, as now Erpin enters, opens up the hatch, and looks to get aggressive really fast. Fuse, first pick here. Haven't really seen that one before, but he looks to get involved. Time of the essence here for Synergy. If they want to respond, it's right here and right now. These cluster charges are going to be a pain. Sometimes you do like to have a roamer just to oppose the person who can bring this much utility. Erpin, though, regardless of the cluster charge, is the first man to take damage in this round, going just below that 50 HP marker. Now, having to use his utility, using his gun as well, the passive utility with that DMR, is able to use out those key buzz, open up the hatches. Beautiful for map destruction here. Still capitalize and make it easier for himself. But Masamitsu managing to just narrowly escape death, looking to open up the hatch here. He's also insanely low. He finds a kill of his own. Erpin falls down shortly after, but Dev with a refrag to take care of tactics. 4 Alchemists to remain at a deficit of 1 body here. A minute 30 left in the round, and the action comes to a halt yet again as they take a break, a little moratorium to drone out everybody and find out their next plan of action. Packs fall short here to DCAG while you take too long to think, and Masamitsu's reign of terror is just no longer there anymore, as Toxic will find one quick refrag onto DCAG. Will put it at level 2v2, but Void drops the man in the hallway that has the case, making this oh so much harder for Masamitsu. He has to go for a drop. Oh, don't contest it, Void. There's only a minute left. C4 in your hand. You also have Zoto canisters. So much time for Maza to be able to find something, but the kid is loose, meaning he's gonna have to go for gunfights. That play is recognized, and you're going to have to know that he's playing pretty down. There you go. You've confirmed it now. What is the plan? Maza forced to rotate all the way throughout the server, trying to find Joy. C4 looking to capitalize here, but no breaches are open. They've already been starved out. Zoto canister thrown out into the hall to make matters worse. He can just crawl on right by, but if he does, he reveals his body to the corner of this door. This makes it a big problem. Tabaro looking to swing here, completely pre-fired. Masamitsu looking to make the greatest clutch of this series, but just not found. Can't just land those last 2 bullets to inch on in, and they will switch on to have a 5-1 lead on halftime. Console is going to be the first choice here from Synergy. Such a large deficit to come back from, and again, if they lose this, they go on to series point. And we've seen a similar situation where they fell short on layer, and they managed to bring it just 1 round short of the match point, but still going to be a massive problem. Quite interesting here. Words on the series, reviews about this series. Again, I have no nice words to say, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. 5v5 as it stands. We've been seeing both teams here really kind of get aggressive out of nowhere. There's no structure to the aggression they bring. Sometimes they try something different, sometimes they don't, and that's just the way they're going to play it out. DCAG been an absolute essential player here for his team. If they didn't have him, this would have been a completely different scoreline. First blood, Masamitsu goes down. No dock on the board. If you go for the res, you might as well call yourself dead as well, but Void pierces the desk's divider to be able to find. Irpin finds a refrag of his own, taking care of Void now. And again, this Aurora has really been a first pick of doom here for either team. Now seeing first the shield fall, and that'll be a problem for either side. Maybe just don't bring her if it doesn't work out, but meeting is still going to be held down quite heavy by Pax and Irpin. But I mean, what do you expect? There's a man upside down repelling and him twerking above you. I think it would give you enough of a sound call, but apparently not. 3v4, as it'll be Synergy to walk out with a deficit of 1 body. Shotgun going to be an absolute pivotal role in denying those close range battles, but Capital Flame Bolts ace to soon get active as well. What stands between you and the site is just this one player sitting close with this lethal shotgun. Grims are able to find him and push him out. Anything is able as well. You have the drones, you also have the flame bolt. So many opportunities. Just drone it out. Looks like not an opportunity here. Not something he went for. And again, you suffer and you pay the price. I told you, that is a problem. But quick refrag here. DCAG not scared to walk up. Will find the refrag, just not in enough time before that C4 gets detonated, and he will find his finish. Live pings here. Apparently, there's a drone on somebody. They don't know where it is. They're unaware. Mira just standing up in the middle of the site here has the ability to just pop this Volcan Canvas, but really, these seconds matter, especially when they have a 20-second fuse time. Make the most of it while you still have that in your hand. Finally, there you go. There won't be a time to walk in. They're gonna have to be able to eat the flames here, but a 1v3 just makes matters worse. DCAT goes down, so realistically it's a 1v2 unless they want to sacrifice the time and get him up here. But Zink's definitely rising up to that occasion, and now a couple of seconds left before this Volcan goes away, and Jaeger trying to get aggressive here. Is he gonna be shut out? Trying to get himself on the board. He'll find as the plant will just narrowly go down. Capital is not gonna be there in time. You didn't deny the plant, but you'll manage to clutch it. What is this team doing? No. I'm done. Synergy managing to barely win the round after a blunder by their Jaeger. Alchemists have taken their logic, extracted their brains, and just shot it out a window. What have we just witnessed? Capital having second thoughts about his primary utility. We've just witnessed utter tomfoolery. But after the smoke settles, it'll be 2-5. They'll be going on down to the basement as they find Joy on their second round. Now, this will be a little interesting. I'm concerned for both teams now as my mental health is starting to go downhill watching this game. Masamitsu on the roam here. As we've seen before, he usually just hides behind one of these shelves or the glass cases upstairs protected by his own pests and then goes for a flank later in the room. See if it'll be the similar case. But as of now, we're not seeing the Mira. We're not seeing anything really. No Kaid or Tabaro either. So a little bit of an aggressive lineup here, but they still have the wall deny and they have the Jaeger. I don't know what you can really do with that, but Noah Zombie makes it an even harder push. But knowing this team, they're aggressive, and it usually works out. Quite intrigued to see how Alchemists are going to bounce back after that absolute blunder of a round. I just absolutely speechless. That was almost worse than watching SSG earlier today. I mean, you've managed to lose to Fear X. It's a problem. And I would rather watch that than this right now. Looking to capitalize here as Doc left as the sole man, played in yellow, no castle as well. One body in the favor of Alchemist is enough to make this a problem. But as of now, it will be Zinx to find Masa first, and your Heartbreacher manages to find it. He's watched film, ladies and gentlemen. If you know, you know. the game previous in the semifinal where we played Consulate, this was seen. I was casting. They know that there's film available, and I would be very surprised if they would have gone back and watched it. C4, no joy, as Dev is the only one left on his team with one. And now 4v5 is going to be the name of the game, as the attackers are now left with more space and more free roam to be able to capitalize. Looking to just find any thread to pull on. They've managed to capitalize on one thread, which is called wallbanging Masamitsu, but they haven't taken care of the man called Pax, as he'll find 3. Oh my days! He's just executed the whole team in a matter of 30 seconds. Brave Fire looking to rain on in. You find it. You would be a legend, but just not in time. Barely shut out here. You'll still be down. But wow, a refrag. Just not fast enough, honestly. That's a problem to deal with. You have a Nomad on the board, meeting her make, but now she doesn't get her air jabs down and allows one man to just walk up white and execute 3 players in about 5 seconds. Left now below a minute, and the defenders are sitting comfortably, and no pressure added. Problem. Big problem. Honestly, the only word that I can manage to just squeeze out right now, because I cannot believe what we've just witnessed. This is crazy. Individual heroic factors are through the roof. In 10 seconds left, you're making a choice to commit to yellow with no breaches open and the hope to God that you can make it in safe. You'll find one. You'll look to find the next, but Void will go down outside the breach and you'll be taken care of because you care more about your KD. Another response here will find Synergy trying to close down the gap again, and they're managing to do it again. But I wonder if we can take a look back at what we've just seen. I mean, he can go back and glaze himself at the triple kill. I was more focused on about what happened after that. You have everybody spring into action and try to find something, but it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem when you only have the reaction after 3 people have been murdered. Crazy round here for Pax, as he'll manage to close down his team's deficit to 2. As now, ladies and gentlemen, we approach that midway of this game. Worst case scenario, we go to all 15 rounds of overtime. Wait, no, we don't go to all 15 rounds. We potentially could go until forever. We could maybe finish off 11-13, 25-27. This goes 25-27. I'm shutting off my stream after the game. But anyways, 3-5 is the name of the game. Alchemist just 1 round shy of being able to claim that nice shiny title of match point, but it just looks like they're not up for that task. Looking so uniform here on defense, but again, defense means so much when it's in your hands, not your opponent's. Volcans dealing damage to both Dev and IT. They have the stims waiting for them. But Mr. P90 himself looks to be playing completely aggressive upstairs, as he has the mirrors protecting him. He has the ability to be able to lock everything down. They're all taking their sweet old time to be able to execute. They have the drones ready to walk in here through the front lobby. Void finds himself in lounge, waiting to capitalize, but still, so much left. You have the bare bones of a setup, but you need to be able to clear the players, especially like the ones on the row. Shot out the drone, gives out the position. Still gonna be a problem if you can't capitalize in time. as gunshots ring on throughout the map. Both teams look to find joy, but only one seems to be more passionate, and it seems like it's Synergy. Looks like they only really wake up when they're down 3-4 rounds, but again, there's not much to criticize. They've managed to close it out to just 2 now, with 50 seconds left on the clock. As it's going to be a very tight interaction here. Masamitsu versus Zinx here on the verticality. Drone will be enough to find, but 30 seconds left on the clock and all 10 bodies are up here. Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourself, gentlemen. Brace yourselves, because this is where it all happens. Tactics to find the first as 20 seconds rains on down. Dev will find a refrag. Tactics for the next, as now Dev left all by himself in the site here. Fighting at range with an ACOG, not the best of ideas when you hold a pea shooter in your hands. Pax going down to verticality, but stimming himself. Zinx finding a refrag, but Masamitsu manages to find. Pax denies plant, and it looks like they've lost the lead yet again, as the plant needs to go down. Tactics really trying to cinch one out, really trying to protect the case with all of your might, and he'll take out the gridlock yet again. That's a plant denied, and it's going to become the history of blunders, as that is the 3rd time we've seen it this map, and Synergy make it so much more realistic as they close it out to just 1 round. This is a problem, and I'm telling you, it becomes one after so many times. We've seen it continuously, and the timeout reigns in, but the question is it a little too late? Wow, my voice is going to be lost by the end of this, because what are we witnessing today? That is a problem that needs to be addressed right now. These teams are running wild, and it just seems like the Alchemists are the ones that are having a beautiful, beautiful time at tossing their lead out the window. As now we approach, ladies and gentlemen, the round 10 marker, the halfway line, as we approach the double digits. I hope that timeout is enough to give you a round, but this is definitely a problem. As I brace myself to continue and cast this absolute... I don't even know. You're not supposed to swear on cast, but this absolute bullshit that we've been watching today. We approach 1 round shy, match point. Alchemists, 1 round comeback for Synergy, and it's definitely where the pressure starts crack-a-lacking. Honestly, I'm just at a loss of words right now. I just keep going quiet, but I'm just trying to think of words to come up with. I genuinely think, regardless of what we've seen in the last 2 maps, Pax is the man to be gifted MVP this game. He cannot stop finding clutches, as he managed to stim himself in the middle of the room, get up, and fry the gridlock. Well-deserved comeback, honestly. I just can't say anything to oppose it. As we approach, ladies and gentlemen, their way of attacking this floor. So much to be done here. Such a short amount of time to do it in. And this is going to be definitely the best BO5 I've casted all weekend. The first one ended out to be 3-1 in the favor of an EU team. The second one was a 3-0. This is getting crazy. It's starting to heat up. The tension is getting to a breaking point as we head on over to map 4 after this. It'll be Synergy's opposing pick. It'll be their away turf, as this is theirs. We'll head on over to Bank. If Synergy lose this map, we might be able to say goodbye to the series, as Alchemist is a well-played, coordinated team. And Synergy kind of goes with the Call of Duty playstyle, which might not be viable for a map such as Bank. As they continue to look for the gap or the thread to pull on, they look for that first pick, and they might be able to find Joy, but no. Defenders just continue to keep rotating out, but again, what's new, Scooby-Doo? It's DKEK to find first blood. Pack shut out here. Your king's down. Can you adapt? Masamitsu finds a quick refrag off bottom spiral and now goes for a flank. Might have the easy verticality here for the later in the round. He fell to it a couple of rounds ago and is going to use it against the team. As long as he's in the game, he's learning. He's managing to try to utilize, and that'll be in his favor. Thieves, though, we've seen them. Alchemists, we've seen them toss the man advantage. As of now, though, they're up one body, and the long haul is the next large objective they have to tackle before it gets to the big stage. 4v5 on the terms of rounds, 3v4 in the terms of bodies, and 20 seconds left on the clock. No Vulcans are going to be found here, and now it is going to be Masamitsu on the flank. You'll find one, you'll find Joy, as you'll be able to also deny the verticality. You'll have Void, though, still raining it up. Tactics falling as well. Plant going down, and Masamitsu teams up with IT to tie it. Level 5-5, and it's a problem when you've let this all go on too long. The timeout makes things worse. You've lost the plot. No sense of urgency. Alchemists have fallen short now 4 rounds in a row as they'll advance on to a tie. I'm gonna run out of I swear we going to overtime or I'm gonna lose my mind. This is absolutely crazy. Wow. I'm actually just left at a stalemate of what to say. This is the problem. They couldn't quite find it on layer because it was away turf, but now they're at home, they're on defense, they've managed to close it out. Alchemists, shame on you for not being able to bring it back in. One man is to thank for that, and he goes by the name of Pax as he's made this all possible. And Basement will be that site that might be able to send them to the match point. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't thought this is a great series, I don't know what is. Aurora now not being brought. She's been a pain to deal with. Yes, advantage is being given when you attack that long haul, but we just haven't seen teams able to capitalize with her enough, and that'll be the main problem to be able to deal with. But as of now, Synergy, regardless of the rosters that come up against them, they capitalize, they bring back, and they take it on for themselves. Breach looking to be opened up soon, but somehow the frag missing one side of the breach quite easily. But I mean, it's enough to get the job done as Dev will rotate off. He's not near the breach. First blood tactics, Masa, and it'll turn into Maza on a t-shirt as now Alchemists get themselves a body advantage yet again. But I'm not saying anything because we've seen what happens. They get 2 bodies even, and they continue to fall short every single time. As they found the first kill, they take the time to reset again. We've seen what happened the last time. They took too much time to try to reset, and that became a large problem. 1:45 is what's left on the clock. And Pax just giving himself the health he needs. Playing Doc, it's the only time I've actually seen Doc being utilized correctly. I mean, you have a selfish player who knows he can win his gunfight. Yes, he's going 7 and 8, but he's won you 2 rounds individually. He's managing to give you the clutch factor. Continue to let him do whatever the hell he wants to do. Interaction here between Dev and the attackers, as Pax will walk out victorious with top spiral, quickly refragged after, putting Dev in a very bad spot. That's the second whiff you've seen. Lock your bullets in as you manage to close your eyes when you're aiming. There you go. You'll find Joy on the first, seeking refuge from Hatch on the second, and a C4 heroic doesn't connect as tactics look to try and reevaluate where his push is next. Dev with the heroics, the acrobatics to be able to leave it level at a 3v3. Reigns it back in here for his team as the Alchemists find themselves with no response yet again. Void, verticality works out for him, but now 2v3. I don't like to say anything in a one-man difference because it's been the deciding factor every single time. Synergy, it's like a switch they flip when they see themselves down. But one player below 50 HP, the other at full. The ability to deny, but now Volcan's being popped, looking to capitalize as Void tries to cut out the man playing yellow, but Tactics is being pushed up here. The plant goes down. Gridlock gets shut out here. Urban can't walk into the tracks or he'll fall short. One of you go down, one of you go up. Verticality is a problem. Dev lags? What are you doing, Void? Seems to have left his headset at home as it's a 2v1. One man just go for the diffuser, the other just bait. But Urban just takes matters into his own hands, and it's match point as 5 rounds in a row in the favor of Synergy and the TK to give the one man himself. Urban, round, match point, and Synergy bring it almost home. This is a problem. I genuinely want to continuously scratch my nails across the chalkboard as this is becoming a problem for Alchemists. How do you continuously manage to throw these leads? Will 3-1 be the stat line? What can it possibly be? As the responses from both teams have been absolutely ridiculous. The Alchemists shutting out the other team while they were on defense, but now it seems like the tables have turned. And if this isn't a sign that Ubisoft makes map balance in the favor of one side, I don't know what is. I actually just can't find the words for this series. Synergy. Just wow. I was dogging on them earlier, but this is so well deserved if they can manage to bring it back in. 6-5 is the name of the game. They need to be able to just hold out for one more round and they will emerge the third map now with it in their pocket. They lost Lair after winning their first. Reclaiming the lead puts them up to map 4 with a map in the pocket. First one takes care of Pax. Quick breach by Void. Silences his drop in the hatch and gives himself the ability to be able to sneak up perfectly through Spyro or Yellow. As it all continuously runs down the clock. Masamitsu, you absolute demon. Runs out, raids the play, capitalizes. Gridlock burst fire. Just look at that save by their team. They go down a body, so they reel it back in by just getting aggressive, and now they're able to reset. Masamitsu looks to capitalize off of verticality, but now having the catering breach opened on him, he's gonna decide to just hide away under the desk. Thermite too distracted here via drone. He's outside. This breach is just opened up for decoration or phantom pressure, but it just looks like Masamitsu doesn't care, and it's just an illusion to him. ITQC has a play in his hands that finds joy for V2 as he continues to terrorize the team. This is becoming a problem for Alchemist because this is going to go on to the next map where you've lost 6 rounds in a row and you're going to have to be able to address that and look for a different game plan. ITQC looks to claim his third of the round, claims as he now has put his team up 3 bodies, and now we might be seeing the end. Masamitsu getting heavily aggressive, looking to capitalize, but Dev is here to be able to close it on out. And that will be the Alchemists to fall short to the comeback of Synergy. Just look at how many rounds in a row that is. 6 to claim, map in their favor, and we move to bank. Let's take a look here at what we've just witnessed, though. Just look at the aggression here on that last round to be able to claim it. But I'm just going to be able to edge. I'll bring it on in for the next map. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back after a short break. Stretch your legs because this series just gets better and better. I'm speechless. The events haven't stopped. The heroics are everywhere, and we'll be back to talk about those after the break. Ladies and gentlemen, this could very well be what the hell? This could very well be our last map for the night. So the pimp glasses come back on that I have no idea where I found them out of. Should probably take them off considering we don't know where these have been. But enough of the app. Bank next. Series point in the favor of Synergy, and let's take a look. Right on in here to the ban phase, and we are already finished up with our attacking ones. We try to bring you the fastest quality as possible, so consider following if you already aren't. 2 attackers banned. Nook for that garage silent plane. Blackbeard just for that insane map control. Both get denied quite easily because, yeah, let's be honest, who the hell wants to deal with these operators now? Moving on to the defensive ones. This is where Synergy has to think, because this last ban, they get the 4th one, they get to throw a curveball. Clash taking the ban, which I didn't really think Kamazo was going to think of playing because he's their main shield player. But while we wait for this final one to be played, we've just witnessed Synergy make a 6-round comeback after being down 5-1. And the heroics are insane. Like, we watched them go down from a 5v5 to a 4v5, and just take a look at how they managed to reel it back in with their aggression. I mean, even after all of that, you had the Melusi go on to kill 3 more people. I mean, it's just beautiful. You have players who aren't scared to get out of the zone and go find their refrags, but that aggression needs to be studied because Alchemists, for the life of them, cannot find a response, and that might kill them this game as Synergy is gifted defense first on the series point of today. We'll head on over here to the basement, and the first Mira accidentally gets popped. Not off to the best start here by Synergy, but the next shall go on this Mira? Or no, what is this? Usually you see that Mira getting placed on this reinforcement to deny any easy sleek breaches, but apparently not. Taking into consideration Synergy's throwing some interesting curveballs, I'm not surprised. Second meter getting popped quite easily. Twitch drone sneaks on in through the drone hole from garage. Gonna be a problem to deal with here. Now, you've lost both of your mirrors in about 5 seconds, and now to make it worse, you've lost your electric claw as well. Thinks first boot in the ground, LMG in the hand, surprisingly. It's going to be a heavy amount to be able to hold as you rain on into the building, but you'll be in, ready to watch the flank and get active as you will set up. We managed to find the site starting to get deprived of all the utility it has. No more black mirrors. Hatch is soon to be open here once these Zotos wear off. Synergy starting to lose their ability and their grip on site. Smoke having the staple operator area of playing top blue here, taking his time, really trying to dissect it all, but only having one area to be able to hold for himself. But it'll be Pax to open it up for this map, taking care of one, doing damage, but it'll be Def to close out the elevator drop. That's Void. Done and dusted, and Tactics left by himself on the hatch. DCAG looking to enter in, but again, there's a time and place where you continue droning and droning and droning, and it comes out to no avail as you have to solo enter through garage now and potentially meet your make. DCAG eating heavy amounts of F-Naught as it looks like Grem has touched his screen, but it'll be Pax to shut him out. double kill here as DK will find the next. Dev for 2 as well. That'll be a 5v1. I thought it was really gonna rain in the favor of Alchemists here, but it looks like Synergy completely forgot that they had gun skill, started relying on that, and executed everybody who got in their path. That's enough to confirm, deny, and give them the first round. Upstairs, the second name of the game, and it looks like even past Synergy's aggression, even past the ridiculous lineups in the former maps, they are not past bringing Mira and Castle for this upstairs floor, setting themselves up here for succession as they look to try and further grow this lead. Sitting currently at 1-0, one map up. They have the ability to shut it out right here, right now, and they're really trying to do it. As it all gets quiet here in the first 20 seconds of the round, attackers look to get set up here on the external play. Windows definitely a point of attack you have to look at, especially on a map like this. So many risks you can take outside before having to even step foot in the building. So many easy ones you can find, but you have to just be up to the task. And Zinx now, after having 2 generational games, after that second half of that consulate game, looks to be taking his sweet old time. As I'm quite certain I just headbutted my monitor on accident. That's an interesting way. Give myself a concussion as we move on in to the second round. Quite surprisingly, 2 games that edge on the border of overtime, just not quite cutting it yet. Would have been interesting to see how an infinite overtime would have went, but as of now, both teams don't really seem to be interested in an infinite overtime, and honestly, I'm not surprised. Lots of endurance needed for a best out of 5, let alone going into the infinite overtime aspect. As now, taking a look at the current events, you'll have Zinx knocking on the front door of Banana. And now, as that wow, okay, you know what? I'm done. Be that as it may, Erpin runs out, finds 2. Masamitsu off the windows as I'm trying to talk about the one man who's the most aggressive. And Zinx manages to be the man all by himself. Left in a pool of attackers. Now Habana will find, but cannot recuperate, cannot find her teammate, as Monty, left in a horrible situation, will be greeted with a nice load of C4 to take him and Masamitsu out to give the next round in the favor of the Alchemists. And it looks like their fighting spirit is just getting slower and slower by the round as we approach the end. I mean, honestly, just an interesting way to approach your attacks. No claymores were set, and that was a problem. You had 2, but not all of the windows covered off, and that's definitely going to be a problem when you go up against a team like Synergy. Aggressive. They come knocking on your door every single time, and somehow you didn't think it was a good idea to sit back, relax, and think about what was going to happen. But I digress as we approach the 2-0 stat line. Now, Grim somehow being seen this map, he'll be allowed, and hopefully he'll be used correctly, because we've been seeing lots of mishaps between alchemists and their utility. I mean, we thought Lair was going to show us a different narrative, but now it just looks like it was an unlucky map for Synergy, and it's starting to show. Kitchen being the main idea here. Verticality not being established, but they do have the operators being annoying up there. Azami sitting along here with the Scopo, soon to have a transfer, and Masamitsu being the main one on the front lines, looking to engage, tagging out DKag all the way at that range, but it is a pea shooter, so not enough to get the job done, and he will still be all by himself with the sharks circling around as he takes his time to try to find first blood. Masamitsu, no matter what gun he uses, gifted. It makes him look like an absolute assassin as we slowly find him swing, capitalizing. Where are the headsets of alchemists? I need to ask. Second situation where we've seen something similar to that. Dev just walks up the marble stairs. The track stingers are only set up on the top half. The bottom is kind of half-assed here. He manages to capitalize, claims the lives of 2 players, leaving Synergy down 3. And now only basement is going to be their opening area. DKag seeming to know what he wants to do here. Toxic finding a refrag, but he's just going to be patiently behind this robot. I mean, I don't know if DKag knows this, but this also gives you active comms on the player, especially if you're sitting right behind him. But as we go to the same exact thing, I have DKag sitting in garage, rotating off and using the call to be able to give him the advantage. But now, still a 4v2. Under a minute left, no utility being utilized, and to make matters worse, Pax capitalizes, taking care of DKag. It's a 4v1 now. Only place you can be found in is Trump office, and Masamitsu will just take your face off from above. Bullets raining on down, and that'll be the continuous lead here for Synergy as they're finding their footing and trying to just get the series over with. They continue to build this lead. It might be enough to put the nail in the coffin, but that's what we said the last time around, and that took us to 5-1, and it got flipped over. So Synergy needs to be able to go to 6-0 to be able to have it in the bag, is what I personally think. But what do I know? Heading on over the next site in their inventory will be basement again. And hopefully they don't pop the mirrors by themselves and they actually try to deny the twitches. Utility was kind of starved out, making it a little harder to win, but somehow they managed to just get aggressive and win it. If they can manage to do that again, we're going to be looking at a very identical round to their last 3 holds as they're majorly successful, except now for the archive site. As we watch Dev try to reshape the map and the site to his liking, try to approach this with a head held up high. It's so easy for them to be able to just bring it on home, lock in, and take it right here. But as of now, still lots to be done. Void, boots on the ground, droning out, very aggressive here, but you already have 2 bodies loose upstairs running free. Masamitsu and Pax teaming up to have the most crazy, outrageous roam, with ITQC opening it up and taking care of Toxic. Shield off now left. Soto, canisters, and C4 are very viable opportunities to be able to take care of them. But Smoke will also head on over. And where's the help? Where's the teamwork? There's literally nobody within a 30-meter distance. And finally, Ace catches up here and manages to save Monty from any bodily harm. Can't say the same here for ITQC as he's now being pinched in a horrible corner. Attackers raining on into the windows. All of the windows! But he manages to turn, take care of business. What a turn that is. Can he pierce the needle, find the next as he tries to use his pistol and rely on matters to make it worse. But what a shot that is to dissect the pressure that was applied onto him. Void finds a refrag to take care of Pax and Masamitsu. But again, the damage is just done. The damage is done. Doesn't even matter. Smoke to come back. Surprise. Shoot him in the back. And where is the teamwork? Where are the attackers that have the response for this? There's a minute left on the clock, and you guys are all willy-nilly looking for your own play. But the site's in the basement. They can seek refuge down there and take their time, but they're not because they're aggressive and they're confident. They know what they want to do, and you guys are lost simply. Void considering the hatch drop. A very viable opportunity considering there's only one man and he's sitting in blue. But case is now in hand, meaning it's very possible to be able to have a plant in their hands here, but it's all about their time. 35 seconds as he takes his sweet old time to drone out, take his sweet time, but it all comes down to one question. Is he up for the task? His tactics completely just commits to it. Dev in sight, kind of soft side actually, sitting in blue by himself, meaning it'll be granted to them to just have access to the B chassis. ITQC just getting a little aggressive here, denying the plant, putting it at a 1v1. Void, you've done all you could do, but it's just not good enough. You're gonna have to try to stick the plant here with 10 seconds left. Using his electric claw to try to mask the time, but now a wallbang is imminent, and that'll be the diffuser to go down, but a death to follow shortly after. And Void growing and dying, finding 3 kills, just not enough to seal it out, and that will be 4-0 favor of Synergy. And we approach the half line as we're 2 rounds away. Definitely a problem here for the Alchemists. Can't really have a scoreline like this, especially in a best out of 5 series. Hopefully, though, they're able to rein it back in like they had a similar situation previously. I mean, hopefully they can do something with it, but I really highly doubt it. I just do. I mean, it's bank, it's I don't know. I'm trying to form the way to be able to approach this. I mean, they have their own map here, but it's still going to be a problem when the differential continues to get built up and you're going down and the deficit continues to grow. Yes, 5-1, very, very hard to come back from, and we've seen it happen almost twice, really. But again, when you go to the 5-6 area, Synergy doesn't seem like the team to be able to let go of that lead. Preliminary thoughts of getting in the building here lies in the hands of the players that approach Banana in the main lobby. Nomad already taking things into her own hands, getting a little proactive here. She's already set her air jabs up and looked to grow the control she has on this one. It seems like you guys have completely ignored the man sitting below you. You have 5 drones in this area and you just can't find one. Habana seems to know, but manages to capitalize, just waiting a little hold your breath moment. She'll take care of Erpin, and there's no more aggression there. Pax taking the damage from the Volcan and from the window as well, doubling down 4v5 to make matters worse for his team. But they're still intact. They have the ability to reset here, and knowing them, they have the individual clutch factors to take it all out. But Tactics finding a kill to just make that even harder, and as they take their sweet old time to try and capitalize, Alchemists find themselves in a 2-man lead with the external play, and the Rotero charges also still reigning in, really utilizing every single piece of utility they have. Response here, an imminent from Masamitsu. He'll find one, looking to find the next, but will just run away into Tellers, just trying to waste down the time. I2QC manages to find a kill of his own, as now Habana just leaves Maza alone and just walks up Banana. Accompanying Monty, you have one player playing outside, and that's exactly what will happen. You don't clear properly, it'll come back to bite you. Nobody watching the drone on the flank. Masa really punishes for that, and DCAG, not aware that windows are windows, gets taken out by just via flank here as he just sticks his face out, gets a pick. Monty left in a 2v1 situation as these defenders just circle around, but you've been completely unaware this whole time. Masamitsu was just slowly closing down the distance, lining himself up for an easy kill as he just strafes easily to close it out. 5 rounds to 0 responses here for the Alchemists, as now we're approaching the halfway line and it's 5-0. Kind of a letdown point, and this is going to be a problem. Alchemists just looking to bring back their mentality from the beginning of the Consulate game, but the ending of it was enough to chalk it completely, as we can obviously see, becoming a problem here. Can't manage to rein it in, but Synergy really finding their footing. Aggression seems to be their best formula to win, and it's working out in their favor beautifully. We're well past the 3-hour mark now, ladies and gentlemen. And again, we were talking about this at the beginning of the stream. It's always about endurance. It'll always break down to endurance no matter what. And now it just looks like Synergy's the team that just can manage to hold it out. Manage to show us some interesting plays, some shocking holds, but they're the ones that are emerging victorious right now. If they close out this round, it's over. There's just genuinely no speaking on it. There's no even trying to think about it. It's over. 6-0, I don't care how good you are, it'll be a problem. And just to make matters worse, Maza will find your main verticality operator and just having a great time here, trolling around, sitting on the ground, licking the ground, and mopping the ground, as he now just takes everything to prone seriously. And now Castle being put in a situation where he has to deal with the blitz direct. E4 in your hand, the bait worked out. It'll take care of Zinx. Look at that teamwork, Maza. You might have fallen, but you've walked out with the man advantage, and Dev just needs to continue to find his kills to be able to continue his reign of terror. But as it stands, it's just a 4v3, make it a 4v2 as Erpin finds 2, just creeping up square. Foundation not left. Check marks left blank as they haven't even looked to roam clear, haven't looked to have a flank drone. The second time in a row now, leaving us in a 4v1 situation where the Alchemists are left just having to rely on one man. The one man who took the individual ability to try to find it. Needs to ace to be able to close this one out. But as the defenders come knocking, a C4 or a shotgun to your face is definitely imminent. And the Erpin is going to be the problem. The man himself, the Scorpion, is in his hands, enough to close it out. And that'll be 6-0 match point. And it looks like we're approaching the end of the series, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, 6 rounds to 0 responses here from... this is crazy. No. This is crazy. 6 rounds here to no responses from Alchemist. The worst scoreline we've seen today. We started off with a 7-1 in the favor of Synergy. Then we had a magical comeback in finding Alchemists to win later. But then, advancing on over the third, where they managed to get absolutely smoked, and Synergy managed to make a 6-round comeback and cinch it on Consulate, sending us now here to Bank, where they lead 6-0. First map was Clubhouse, thinking back, but it's a problem. This is a problem. If we see a comeback here, $1,000 to any charity or person you guys want me to send it to. This is crazy. If we see a comeback, I'm done. I'm done with the casting career. I'll retire. Masamitsu really not caring anymore. He's 6 rounds up, sprinting full speed here with his pistol, closing down the distance that gets into the site. A little schizophrenic here as no one's in the elevator. That was your teammate you've actually heard. But deciding to get a little schizo, as I promise you, Maza, no one's there. Realizing he's methed out here as he's currently 9-2. Looking to just find some aggression here as they've managed to claim almost everything in a timely fashion. Urban snipes the face off of Goyo, and that's her first roamer dusted. First and last, as nobody wants to get executed JFK style in a 6-0 deficit. 7-0, way to end the series, kind of brutal here. That's Synergy. Can I just full send it? Callie falls down the hatch, finds one, quickly refragged after, but looks like Toxic was looking for my dad, trying to have a response. 4v3, Moz is the next to fall, but not in the best of situations. Falls the hatch, and falls literally as he will die to the MPX in the hands of Tactics. All level here at a 3v3, and it looks like they're still fighting as Tactics will find his third decag to make it a 1v3. And I wouldn't be surprised if Dev just full sent the hatch. But, I mean, makes me a little happy that some pride is somewhat saved. Not a 7-0, and thank God, that would have been brutal to see here. As Dev being put in a horrible situation, 1v2 situation. There's no way he does. There's no way. C4 is in the hands of Cade here. You have the ability to be able to lock it down. You're a little far, but he'll spam the cancel. 0 Grims left in his pocket. He has the ability to use this commando and make it hurt. But right now, the biggest op he has is the fact that there's Vulcan canisters surrounding him. Damage being dealt here from Garage. They're really taking their time. Slug Shotgun and a DMR is not the best to deal with. But Dev, no way. Don't you do it to them. 7-0, now becoming a realistic possibility. As there's 46 seconds left in DCAG. Oh my God, my heart. DCAG narrowly avoids that ending as he manages to reel it back in and send us to the next map somehow, some way, with some effort. That match point is going to be antagonizing to look at for the next couple of rounds, or maybe the last round, but they are going to have a horrible time holding this. I mean, you could have prevented it, 4 or 5 rounds ago, but I guess the constant defensive power here in the favor of Synergy was just not enough to be able to be stopped. They were on a freight train, and it just bulldozed through any thoughts of being able to try to push this to map 5. Lakers in 5 seems to be the statement that everybody wants to see, but just like Alchemists, actually no, that's a little mean. I mean, the Lakers are shit. The Alchemists, not shit. They got a map in their hand, and it's on their home turf, but again, they made Synergy sweat for a second here. And I think that's the main point. They almost threw it though, which kind of makes it a little watered down, but they still managed to take away a map, and it's very, very good. It's not a full 3-0 in terms of maps, but 6-1. You've already lost 7-1 once. It didn't seem preferable to lose again, but hopefully they'll manage to reel it in. As they look to find first blood, Devil find first blood, but he won't be the one finding it. He'll be the one dying, as that'll be the first kill in the favor of Synergy, and a double kill from DCAG claims some bodies and make that 3. DCAG finds his third, but he burns alive due to his teammates' Vulcans. Comeback season imminent, maybe. DCAG getting a little aggressive here, and maybe just bait and get the hell in the building, because now I'm getting annoyed. 1v4, as we'll head on to the 6-2, and if this is a comeback, I told you I'm quitting casting. DCAG seems to have a general idea exactly where he is, but never mind. I had the thought, but since no bullets, no ideas came from that area, he won't investigate. Clock ticking down. Synergy looking for 1. Alchemists looking for 5. Are we gonna stay here all day long? The kid is loose. Urpin has his head up his ass, and this is a beautiful place to be, ladies and gentlemen. Xenocasts BO5, where map series point becomes Call of Duty. Everybody baits in a corner. Urpin slowly approaching the door. The SPM SG will be in his hands here, looking to advance towards ATMs. Seems like DKag's already on this. Might be able to have a wallbang perfectly lined up here, but the shelf gets in the way, narrowly dividing him in a headshot. Leaving Erpin looking for the Call of Duty style, but completely unaware that there's a man to his right, and DKag capitalizes, gets a quad kill, calls the round his. Round 8, favor of Alchemists. As I lean back in my chair ever so slowly, get comfortable, put my feet up, we're on match point. And I'm going to continue to say that because I feel like a couple of throws are going to be guaranteed. I mean, honestly, you get stabbed, you get up. You get stabbed, you get back up. I mean, if you guys have heard the news, kind of like Tory Lanes, you get stabbed 14 times, you still manage to get back up. Kind of the fighting spirit here of Alchemists and Synergy. They both have had situations where they've been battered by 4 or 5 rounds with a differential, and they've managed to reel it back in. Somehow, some way, with some effort. But that effort is just completely out the window now, as we're just not seeing that. We'll head on over to the mid floor yet again. Defense always being that clear, obvious preferred site for any defender here on Bank, especially after you've won upstairs and downstairs. Between that and the Archive site, and Archive is a good room to extend into, but not to make your home. Azami being brought alongside with the castle. Something I do respect here about Alchemist. They bring everything regardless, man. They've had some individual plays. They've had a man goes by the name of DKag, really holding them together. I mean, he's currently 9-6, but he had a point where he dropped 20 kills on a singular map. I mean, I don't think we've seen anybody from Synergy approach that area, but it doesn't really matter now, does it? You've been an individual player, but where's the teamwork to be able to push you further, as we are now on the series point where your team trails by 4. Droning ever so passionately. The drone's getting shot out here. Monty Erpin looking to get lucky, looking to find something, but it looks like it's a 5-man bunker play here. The hatch is definitely going to be a realistic escape if needed, but they just have to ease out the pressure, and if they fall in Archives first, this is going to be an absolute hell of a sight to try and defend. Monty grabbing the case, and that's how you do a proper handoff. There you go. Synergy learning from their fall downs on Consulate after that double C4 kill where they both fell, trying to hand off the case. Doing it a little bit earlier so we don't see a similar approach. Monty given 3 different heights here. One for Yao Ming, one for a mid-sized NBA point guard, and one for Muggsy Bogues, as 2 bodies have been found. Pax leaves the game for some reason, and a 2-man deficit is found here for Synergy as Alchemists continue to look to find a threat to pull on. Trying to capitalize. Masamitsu just gets aggressive, looks to capitalize, shut out again, and oh my god, just play the game seriously. Zinx manages to deal damage here to the Monty and will be finished off by Toxic, as ITQC will find himself outside, let me guess, on the windows. No, in stock. Makes it even worse. Not a single body dropped here for the defenders, and it looks like we might actually be seeing a comeback. Alchemists with the fighting spirit that I would hope to have for anything in life, really, but a flawless round confirmed by the tactics man himself will put us to just 3 rounds standing in between a comeback and the Alchemists. And I know, Pax leaving the game makes it even funnier as he continues to get shut out round by round. We approach the basement site, ladies and gentlemen, as my energy slowly depreciates as we watch 2 teams battle it. Wow. battle it off with almost no passion here. I mean, Alchemists, they're trying to bring it back. Synergy just literally playing Call of Duty, swinging anything, having a good time. But maybe after losing 3 rounds in a row, it'll be the wake-up call to wake up, lock things in, and try to bring the best foot forward to end it out right here and right now. But as of now, it'll be Alchemists to find their first 3 defensive rounds. And now, you have a good time. They've lost 1 defensive round, actually. But look at that stat line. It might be a 5-6. If we see 6 and 6 for each team, I'm gonna lose my mind. I've only seen that once, and it happened 4 years ago, and I wasn't even casting the match. I mean, look at the passion from DCAG. The way he watches the cameras, oh so goated. And yes, I'm glazing. Never seen anybody have an individual performance this consistent for a while now. I mean, Consulate wasn't the best of terms, but he still managed to do something with it. It's not like he was 0-7, but 5v5 is the way it stands. And wow, this will be a little interesting as we watch it. It's 2 minutes 15 on the clock. And now 6-3 is the name of the game. One minute in, and the only thing that showed for it is 1 hatch open. Miras remain intact. As now, Barrage needs to be a knocking point. Those head holes deep make it very hard to be able to try and plant. Twitch drone shut out quickly after. And I feel like we're going to see a little bit of an interesting play here. Double plant is not possible, by the way, due to the fact that there's a smoke watching that hatch drop, even if it goes to the server door. Smoke looking for joy as he is going to be the front line. Now playing off with his Toxic Babes. Grim lighting up the place in live pings. And Smoke will be the only one pinged off here. And now no damage being dealt as the case is in the hand of Masamitsu. Just a little bit of a bait here. Being tapped to go for the plant here. Just use the time and space you have, but just not there. One more C4 to be used, and it'll be Kai to go for it. And it looks like he's just going to stick it. 5 seconds left on that plant, and he'll get it down. Not meeting his maker, and it's a 4v5. 9 bodies left on a post-plant situation. Oh, what's the response here? 2 bodies run up frantically. I2QC via square, and it'll be Goyo to try to find area alongside with the smoke. A double roam here, as this pressure is oh so important. Dev finding a refrag, and is this the beginning of the end? The bodies are raining on in here for Dev as he continues to terrorize where he can find. 1 man on the case, the next looking for something. Pax finds 1, DCAG losing his health, but it'll be Pax, Dev, 3 kills for 1, 2 for the other. Series over, match over, and 2 players to be able to call this one done, dusted, and finished. That is the game in the series, ladies and gentlemen. Screenshots, here for the screenshots, here for the screenshots. As we manage to approach the halt of this beautiful, beautiful series, sadly, we're done. I've been your host. I've been your caster, your producer, and on-deck main man in general. If you did like it, consider following, consider subbing if you're feeling naughty, but I'm absolutely drenched in something called being tired. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Make sure to check out all the other socials, which are linked down below. Have a great rest of your night. Let me know what you thought of the casting down in the comments below. Anything that you think I can improve on, send a DM over on Twitter, Discord if you have it, or any way to contact me. I'm open to all suggestions. Have a great rest of your night. And we're probably going to be rating Masamitsu or Jamal. Let's take a look. Have a great night.